right, looks like we're back live. And we'll give you guys a minute. Come in. Let me know y'all in here. Hey, we got one person that came in so far. Let y'all come in. Takes a minute for this to start populating. As you come in, make sure you're leaving comments so that I know that you're in. Make sure you're leaving comments. Okay, I was going to say, we stuck on one person? Hey. All right, awesome. Now I'm getting excited. Hey, y'all ready? I hope y'all ready. I hope y'all are ready. Hey, how are you? So glad you guys decided to come back. I'm excited, guys. It's great to have y'all support. I want to pull up this because we're going to deal with the topic of jealousy. It was good. It was okay. No complaints. I'm hungry over here. I'm trying to get my life together as far as eating, because I don't cook as much as I should. Let's see here. All right, so I'm letting y'all come in and make sure y'all are liking this, y'all, as you come in. How are you? How are y'all? I love y'all. Thank you so much for the likes, Sugar Mama. Let's see here. Somebody over here talking about barbecue, and I want barbecue so bad right now. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. And I told her I love her transparency. This is how we get free. Transparency allows you to get free, guys. Transparency allows you to get free. So this is going to be the layout. I'm going to read this message to you guys. We're going to deal with the topic of jealousy. I don't want any one of you ever struggling with jealousy and comparison, ever. I don't ever want y'all struggling with jealousy and comparison. So I believe that you're going to get something good from this. I believe that you'll learn from this and you'll have a different perspective by the time you close this video. And yeah, and then I'll answer some questions. So this is what we're going to be doing. I'll do that. And before we get started, here's the thing. I want to show you guys. I told y'all, since we're still waiting on people to load up, look at my book, Microscribology. This is my book, Microscribology, the biblical authority of the prophetic scribe. I want to show y'all. Let's see. Let me tell you how many pages this is. Thank y'all for coming back. Let's see here. 531 pages. Thank you. 531 pages. I wrote this in 2018. While writing this, I went through the heaviest warfare I've ever been through in my life. That's the year I lost my mother. I went through the heaviest warfare of my life, and I knew that warfare was coming because I was writing this book. My initial thought for this book was I was teaching a writing class, and I was just creating a manual for them. It was supposed to be like a little small six-page manual, and that class never got a chance to see. Well, they did. I did send them out something, but God kept talking. Now, if you're a prophetic scribe, if you're called to write or what have you, God gives you strategies to write. What happens is God just does not stop talking. Y'all, I thought I was talkative. Our Father, which art in heaven, he don't. Yeah. So this right here, you can see it has illustrations in it. Is a friends author. It shows you how your friends can contaminate you. So I've been carrying them around for about a year, close to a year. I've been carrying them around. This one here has been in my bedroom, so it's a little worn. but the ones that I have, they're brand new. They're still in. They're still new. They're still new. What have you. This is one of the most prolific books I've ever written. The deepest. If you want to be a scribe, this right here is the scribe's Bible. This right here, it tells you about how the devil works. It tells you what level you can write on. So you may find yourself writing on a certain level or trying to write on a certain level, and you keep dealing with writer's block. I'll talk about the spiritual side of that. So one of the things I want to do is I'm going to put my Cash App. I got about 40 of these. I think I got 40. If I don't have 40, I'll order more, but I'm pretty sure I got 40 of them. I got about 40 of these. They are $30 on Amazon plus shipping. I'm going to sell them for $30, but you don't have to pay for shipping. I'll ship them to you. So that means 40 people. You do that. You can Cash App me, but email me if you decide to get it. Email me at info@anointedfire. I'll type it. anointedfire.com. Email me at info@anointedfire.com and give me your Cash App to say, hey, I'm the one that sent it from Blue Butterfly, for example. You know, I sent the Cash App to you from Blue Butterfly, and you can also use PayPal. I'll put the PayPal link. But make sure you send me an accurate and send me your address. Double check your address before you send it. Double check it. I'm not responsible if you send me the wrong address. You can't sit up there and say, Tiffany, oh my God, I never got it. And then we go to check your address. And you're like, oh, what number off? I'm so sorry. That's your loss. I'm not absorbing that loss. I'm not going to turn around and send you another one. So make sure you double check your address. So I got about 40 of these. I decided the other day, I said, you know what? I'm just carrying these things around. These need to be out to the nations. This right here, when I tell you it's heavy, if you like Revelation, this book is heavy. Really, this is not just a book where you go. I'm going to sit here and tell you right now, this is not a book you're going to read like this. This is a book you're going to scream, wow, all throughout. This is heavy. When I tell you I had to dig and get this revelation, and God, I'm talking about, I deal with what level of a writer you are, whether you're a core mantle writer, whether you are outer core, inner core, all those different levels of the writers. And it helps you to understand, you know, what the mistakes that writers make. Get it. So I'm selling that for 40 people. I'm going to let you get it for $40, $30, and you don't have to pay for shipping. 40 people. And then I'm going to ship it. Make sure if you do it in an email, let me know if you want me to sign it, because it's going to be an autographed copy. All right. So if you want it signed, just give me the name you want me to sign it to. Don't just send me an email. And then when you get it, you're like, well, it wasn't signed. I'm not going to assume if it's not signed. I may think that you want to get it for a friend or a family member, because people do that. You know, you may want to bless somebody in your family, and you know that they got a scribe's anointing or what have you. And you're like, I know this girl's the real thing. This right here, when I tell you, if this book don't bless you, I'll give you a refund. And I don't even want to say that because now I want to take this video down, because, you know, somebody will come and try to lie. But this book here is heavy with revelation. This is a heavy book with revelation. I want to get the guy, for those of you who do it, I would love to get your reviews as well. So I want to get 40 people who are willing to make that investment. And then I'm going to go ship them off. What's today? Today's Saturday. I'll ship them off once I get 10 sales, and I'll keep you guys posted. Or I'll ship them off before Friday. I'll say that regardless of what. By Friday, I will have, I'll have 40 sales by Friday. I know that without a shadow of doubt. We'll probably get 5 while I'm on here. And then when I get off of here, by tomorrow, we'll have about 15 to come in. So I know the math behind it. So I know how they're going to sell. So make sure that you get this. Make sure you get this. This is heavy with revelation. 531 pages, guys. 531 pages. My pastor absolutely loves this book. And so I published it. I never officially released it. It's published. Look at here. Apostolic authority. It tells you what this is your roadblock when you're dealing with writer's block or what have you. Sometimes you feel like, I can't go any further, and you get to a certain spot, there's an angel there that's stopping you. This book is heavy with revelation. Yeah, and that's going to help you to understand why you experience warfare. I'm glad you said that. I deal with warfare when I'm writing. There are certain vaults of revelation that you go into, but the enemy will fight the crap out of you. And a lot of people go through warfare when they're writing and they don't know why. And so they end up going through it and they stop writing. If you get this, you will never stop writing. You'll know, okay, I need to kind of adjust or what have you, or you'll know how to pray. So make sure that you get the book. All right, let's go ahead and deal with this topic. Yes, this is a powerful book. A lot of artwork in here. I'm looking for another one. You made me want to show another image. I'm just flipping through it. This book here I went through hell. Oh, okay. You got to try not to laugh, and then I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Do y'all see what she's doing? Her book is her toilet. And I deal with a lot of times people who are hurt and they basically crap out in their book. They're just releasing and, talk about how to process information so you're not crapping in your book. You're not releasing a bunch of crap. So get it. All right. So I want to go ahead and I want to deal with this topic of jealousy because I think this is something that needs to be talked about. Just to start off, one of the things that I wanted you guys to always know about me is that I've struggled with a lot of things, but jealousy has never been one. And I tell that to people all the time. Jealousy and comparison has never been one. And that's because my mom didn't raise me like that. And even, for me, I can look at people and just kind of understand, like, even if I don't understand why you are blessed, I don't really care. At the end of the day, I just know God is God and he's going to do for me what he wants to do for me. And if I don't have what I want, if I don't have what I've asked for, it's my fault, not his. You see how that's the way that I think. Even when I was in the world, I looked at people and I didn't think to myself, oh my gosh, she has long hair. Why don't I have that? I don't look at people like that. I look at people like, wow, she's pretty. And that's it. That's the farthest thought that I have. Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous or what have you. But that's the farthest thought I'm going to have in regards to her. I don't go any further than that. I'm not comparing myself to her. And the reason I'm not going to compare myself to her, no, it's not just for writers. I believe this. Anybody, if you want to get into demonology, warfare, you want to get into deliverance, this describes demons. This has a lot of information about demonic spirits and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a very powerful book on that. It's a very powerful book. But and if you're trying to start a business, it's great as well. But when it comes to jealousy, like I said, when I look at people, I just see people. I can look at a woman and think to myself, wow, she's gorgeous. She's beautiful, and that's going to be the extent of my thoughts in regards to her. Now, if she starts acting entitled, it's annoying to me. It becomes annoying because, I tell people, I talked about in the last video how I've had all types of friends. I've had friends of different races and what have you. But as an African-American, I've had African-American friends just different. I'm not a person that goes and gravitates toward this certain type of clique. I'm the type of person that I just love people. And I love to learn from people. I like to get around different cultures of people, even within the Black American race. I like to get around different cultures of people and learn or what have you, because as a writer, it actually blesses me as a writer. I'm able to, if you got my book Wiser Still, you can see that I'm able to go into all these different places and I can, I can create a character based on characters that I've met or stuff I've seen or what have you. That's what happens when you're around different people. That's discernment. If you have sharp discernment, you're a great writer. If you have sharp discernment, it's typically because you didn't limit yourself to a certain type of people or what have you, a certain group of people. And so I had my friends and I can look at them, and I've had those friends that were drop dead gorgeous on the world scale. They were, off the charts. And I've had friends that were entitled. I've had them. And, I love being around. I'm not a person that can look at a female like that and say, oh, she thinks she's better than me, I don't want to be around her. No, I actually like being around her. I actually like being around the woman who has low self-esteem and the woman who has high self-esteem. I learn a lot from both of them. I learned a lot from both of them. And I like being around a sister because when she starts talking that, trust me, I'm not just sitting there listening like, wow, why do you think like that? I'm going to deal with that. I deal with that narcissism. I deal with the entitlement. I'll tell them about it. And I'm like, and that's the reason why the friends I've had, they loved me so dearly, because when they got around me, I didn't make them feel like their brokenness, because your beauty can be your brokenness. Your beauty can be your brokenness. It can be your stronghold. If people have told you your whole life that you're gorgeous and caused you to feel entitled, your beauty becomes your stronghold. And so I've been around people who have been in captivity to their beauty. And they felt like their beauty was going to make them open doors for them, and it was going to entitle them to all of these things. And I've lived long enough to see that many of them have gone to the point where they never got anything. They just got humped. That was it. They got their wig split. They didn't get anything because of entitlement. Now, if it's up to me, I've had friends, I've straight talked to them. And, they've said to me, I remember having a friend, and drop dead gorgeous girl. And she was sitting there, she was telling me, she was still in the club. I was out the club, I was saved by then, but she was still in the club. And she was telling me that, she would talk about, and he got with this girl, and I look way better than her. And then I stopped her. I was like, you do understand that men don't marry the best looking woman that they were with. That's an old system. That's a system. That system's not even, it's not even solid within the world. That's a system. There are women in the church. I know women in the church who still think like that. They still base their relevancy on their face. That's a system. And they cannot, I hope I ain't cut myself because I poked myself, but they cannot understand why they get in a relationship and they get dumped. They'll get with the average looking man. They go by the world system. By the world system, if a woman is a 10, her guy at minimum should be an 8. We won't talk about that kind of stuff, but I like to talk about it. But by the world system, if the woman is a 10, her guy should at minimum be an 8. That's the world system. I know women in the world and in the church who have gone out here and they've dated people who were a 4 and the woman was a 10. She got tired of getting dumped by the 8, 9s, and the 10s. She got tired of getting dumped and she dated the 4 because she felt like, and she dated the 2. She even dated the -3. She dated him because she felt like, well, maybe, he'll worship the ground I walk on because I look way better than him. Like normally he wouldn't be able to get a girl like me. That's a world system. I used to be a part of that system. I know that system. And what happens is the guy turns around and dumps him. And they're like, how can he dump me? He's not even that cute. And I know you said middle school thinking, but no, it's actually grown people think like that. If you're in the world, you're going to think like that. That's the world system. That's the world system. The world system goes by a scale. That's the reason why even in the church, we can look at a woman and be like, how'd she pull him? That's an old system. That's an outdated system. We still go by it. We'll look at him and we'll be like, we'll look at the guy and the guy is a 10 and the woman is a 3. Girl, how'd she get him? He must be retarded. It's got to be something wrong with him. What's wrong with him? That's the world system. We go by the world system in a lot of cases. And when you go by the world system, you don't qualify for the kingdom system. You may be caught between systems. If you're waiting for God to send a husband, God is waiting on you to come out of that system. It's not that you're waiting on God. God's waiting on you to grow up. It is a system of immaturity. Because whenever you come into the church, the kingdom system, or whenever you come into the kingdom, the church, the world system is irrelevant. What was your strength in the world is your weakness in the kingdom. What was your strength in the world is your weakness in the kingdom. So if your strength in the world was the fact that you were sexy, and that people threw money at you and they gave you all the attention because you were drop dead gorgeous. That is your weakness in the kingdom. In the kingdom, one of the things you have to do is you have to put your attention on not getting a man through your physicality, but studying and showing yourself approved. But here, the hard part for that is, hey, I can actually get a guy. That's the hard part, is giving up that power that you had in the world. These are things you have to give up. Giving up that power. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to all of a sudden start wearing baggy clothes and not shaving your armpits and wearing aluminum-free deodorant. That's not what that means. It simply means that you no longer rely on that. You no longer put your weight on that. And you want to look gorgeous. I know all of us, I like makeup. I like doing my hair. I am girly all the way. Deliverance may not make me look girly, but yeah, I'm a girl. I got shoes for days. I got perfume. I got tons of makeup. I'm that type of person. I like that kind of stuff. But I can't allow, and I'm older now, what have you, but if I was still young with a snatched waist, I would have to be careful. If that was my strength in the world, that's my weakness in the kingdom. Because that's my temptation in the kingdom. My temptation is to rely on that system, especially if God started making me wait for a man. And I ain't used to waiting. I'm not used to walking into a place and not getting any attention. I've been there. I remember I wasn't used to men not looking. When I used to go to the mall, when I was in the world, I was used to guys doing this. And if a guy didn't look at me, I would run to the bathroom to figure out what was wrong with me. Like if I passed by a group of guys and they didn't look, if I passed by a guy, he didn't look, I would go to the mall. And I used to stay in the mall because my mom worked in Mirages. So a lot of times when I worked at Walmart, my mom would pick me up and take me to Mirages before I got a car, and I would have to walk around till she got off. But that was my weakness. That was my strength in the world. My strength in the world was I didn't have a waistline. My strength in the world was the fact that I was seductive. My strength in the world was the fact that I was headstrong and I was feisty. That was my strength in the world. It was my weakness in the kingdom. And when I got into the kingdom, I lost my waistline. I'm trying to recover it. But when I came into the kingdom, all that I knew in the world was now worthless. I could use it to pull people out, but I could not use it on kingdom men because it's witchcraft. I could not use it on kingdom men. I couldn't come out and y'all, I have knowledge from the world that I knew how to have a guy locked and loaded, no sex added. I knew what to do. I knew how to mess with a man's mind. And I'm logical and I'm not emotional. Dude, please. No. I knew how to mess with a guy. I knew what to do with a guy. I can't use that in the system. I can't use that in the kingdom. That's an old system. I can't use that in the kingdom. Even though the knowledge is still there, I can't use it. I can use it to pull women out. I can use it. It helps me to discern. I can look at a woman and say, I know that system. I can look at a woman and see how she look at a guy. And I look at her and I know what she's doing. I know that system. Even if he doesn't recognize it, I see it. I know that system. And because I know that system, it helps me with deliverance. It helps me in all these areas of ministry. I know that system, but I can't tap into it. As a Christian, I can see a man that I'm attracted to, but I can't tap in. That ant still ain't dead. But I can't tap in. I can see a guy and I know exactly what to do to mess him up. To have me on his mind, no sex added, no kiss, no nothing. To have me on his mind. It's the same thing that men do to women. I know exactly, and I ain't gonna tell y'all because some of y'all ain't free yet. But I know how to mess a person up. A church guy, especially somebody that's an old system. I don't mess with that. I don't touch that no more because that's an old system. And there are so many women who still tap into that system and they try to get a kingdom guy. They tap into that system and then they try to get a kingdom guy. And God's like, no. You need to get free. You still tapping into an old system. See, because in the kingdom, we walk by faith and not by sight. In the kingdom, I can still look good. I can still wear my makeup, my hair. I can still wear my stilettos and look good and all that. But I can't use the manipulation and the mind games. I can't do the things I used to do. I can't. You said tell us, yeah. But I can't do the stuff I did in the world. I can't do those things in the kingdom. If I want God to move on my behalf, I have to grow up. That means that all of my wiles, I had to throw them away. But I know where they at. I know the wow. God don't take that information from you because he wants you to know to how to pull other people out, how to identify spirits. He don't take it from you, but you still know. You still know. You still listen. You still know. I tell people this. I've been single, abstinent for 6 years, but that's by choice. I don't even have to have sex with a guy to get married to him. I know that. And I ain't trying to sound cocky. It just, I was confident in the world. I'm still confident, guys. I ain't got to have sex with a guy to get married to him. Right. And you see it a mile away. I don't have to have sex with a guy to get married to him. Locked and loaded. Locked and loaded, guys. But you can't tap into that. So long story short, I went into the deep end. I got in my, So I went on my rant. I remember talking to a sister, a friend of mine. And she was still in the club or what have you. And I was a teenager in Christ by then. I had just gotten married for the second time. And I was maturing, but I was still immature. But I remember talking to her, and she was still in that system. She was Christian, we talked about God and all that. But she still was a part of that system. And she was telling me that she went to the club, and she was telling me about this girl, and I look better than this guy. And then he married this girl. He didn't marry me, and I look way better than her. And she was drop dead gorgeous. But I opened her eyes. I said, sis, guys don't marry the prettiest woman or the sexiest woman that they've been with. That's the deception of the world system. The world system makes you feel like, okay, if I step into the club or if I step into the room and I'm the best looking person in here based on the world system, that puts me at an advantage, in regards to, the other women. And it doesn't. It actually doesn't. It can make you the cockiest person in the room, which can make you more attractive. I'm going to give you a secret. Y'all ain't sold today at all. Y'all need to be sowing. Y'all need to sow into this. I'm going to give you a secret. The reason the guy comes to you is because the cockiest is usually the easiest. I'm waiting on my Cash App to go out because somebody got to deliver. Oh, y'all need a Cash App? Okay. Somebody got delivered. All right, I just reshared it. The prettiest girl in the room, if her beauty has become her stronghold and she's been puffed up, she's usually the easiest person in that room. Listen, when I was in the world, all of my friends were 10s. 8s, 9s, and 10s, I'll say that. Some of them were 15s. They were off the charts. They were gorgeous. Couldn't keep a man to save their life. Their beauty, in some cases, had become their stronghold because they thought that being beautiful meant they didn't have to get an education. They thought that being beautiful automatically entitled them to a successful BMW driving executive guy with pearly white teeth and those little cute lines that some guys have on their mouth. You can tell the guys are kind of rich. They have the little lines when they smile. They kind of come up over here. They thought that entitled them to that. They got mass humped. Next thing you know, I realized, I came to understand I was saying this to a relative of mine the other day. I said, when you get completely saved, the enemy doesn't like you. He gets scared because you get to put out the devil's secrets. And I was sharing this with a relative. I said, those women, they usually become side chicks. They usually become side chicks. The reason for that is because that system, the enemy, whenever he realizes he's losing you, whenever he realizes that, okay, I've deceived her and it's not working and she's starting to kind of pull away, she's trying to get some sense, he will make you feel like you came close. So he will send a guy. I like this. I like exposing him. Oh, I must see. He will send a guy, and the guy will be wealthy, handsome, good looking, wealthy, straight smitten with you. Everybody will tell you that you guys are a cute couple and that y'all are gonna make it and all that, and you'll be walking, the guy will even let you drive his car, all that nice stuff, and you know, people will be jealous of you. The enemy will let you be in a relationship for several years, and then he'll snatch it just like that. Close call. You know what that does? It refuses your hope. It was a close call. Well, if I can get with him and no other woman can pull him, it's hard for women to pull him, then I must be a 10. I must be something. It refuels your hope. By the time you're 45, you find yourself sitting there and you end up becoming a side chick. You end up becoming a side chick. Because at that point, all the young guys are gone. So you have to end up with a guy who is everything you wanted, but he's tied to somebody else. It's a system. It's a system that is absolute. Not everybody falls into the role of a side chick. Other women fall into other roles. They fall into other things, but a lot of them fall into a side chick. They become side chicks. It's a system. It's a 1, 2, 3. It's a 1, 2, 3. You know, once you've been around the mountain, you guys heard me say that 40 years is the equivalent of being around a mountain, a system. But after you've been around, you familiarize yourself with that system. You can see it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Day always turns to night. Night always turns to day. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's just something you keep seeing. It's something that is repetitive. Oh, the devil is ticked off at me. I know, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's a system because her beauty was her stronghold. This is the reason why I didn't struggle and still don't struggle with jealousy. I don't look at a woman and think, oh my gosh, she's sexy, she's beautiful, she got a small waistline. Oh my God, I want that body. I look at a woman and say, man, I would love to have a shape like that. Girl, you got a pretty shape. I can look at her and compliment the crap out of her and still not want to be her. I just think to myself, I just wish, I had a nutritionist somewhere near me that said, you know what, I got you, sis. I want that nutritionist like the guy that went viral for, chasing you down. He went in the restaurant, pulled the door open and kicked that man food out. I need that type of person. I need that person that follow me around town when I'm in drive-thru, come up. I want to be paranoid looking for, like if I'm in drive-thru, I want to be like, let me get a number 3. Could you hurry up? Hurry up. Let me get a number 3. 3. I said number 3. I want to be that person there. So I need that type of nutritionist. I need that person to come in and just be like, not Jezebel me that, but I need that type of person to come in and just be like, come into my refrigerator and just start taking stuff and throwing stuff out and be like, I'm preparing a meal plan. As a matter of fact, I want somebody to come and put the food together for me. That's the type of nutritionist I need. I don't need those people that's just telling me what to eat. If you tell me, Tiffany, eat a salad with some blueberries and some grapes and this and that, I hear you, and that's all good and dandy. But after I've worked my tail off, yeah, I'm probably going to end up in somebody's drive-thru. I'm going to get it together, though. I said it the other day. I said, I'm going to be that older woman that's going to be saying, I'm in the best shape of my life now. What have you? I'll be that older person. I'm believing that. So, yeah, I need somebody to fix my food. Right. Come knock the frosting. Come knock it out of my hand. I need somebody to walk up behind me and just grab me by my hair just lightly and say, what you doing? Girl. Listen, I need that type of person. I need that type of person in my life. So I'm saying that's a system, guys. That's a system. The reason jealousy is so stupid, the reason jealousy is so dumb, the reason I don't look at a female and envy her is because what's for her is for her, what's for me is for me. I don't lose if she wins. I don't lose. Even if, hear this, if I'm in a room, let's say I'm in church, and because that's the social gathering I typically go to, that's probably the only place I go. But if I'm in church and some guy comes and he's checking me out, and I'm like, and then some girl comes by and she, looks way better than me, gorgeous, snatch waist, pretty face, all that curvaceous he got it going on. And he takes his attention from me and places it on her. I am not hurt. I'm not hurt. I'm not even disappointed. I'm relieved. Now, if I really liked him, I could probably feel a twinge of disappointment at some point. It just hasn't happened. But I'm not hurt or disappointed. For me, because I've been married twice when I was ignorant, that's a relief. Why? There was a song when I was in the world, and I'm sure some of y'all remember this. It said, I don't want no short man. Yeah, and they were talking about the size of a man's penis. Dumb. It was crazy. All right. But I don't want no shallow man. I don't want no shallow man. I don't want a man who is flesh driven. I don't want him, because even if he goes after her, I want to show you, because a lot of times, thank you for the seed. Thank you. A lot of times there are men in the kingdom, Christian men, who still go by the world system. And a lot of times they can come across a woman that matches their assignment, but because they're blind, because they are shallow, because they're still buying into the world system, they can see a woman who looks better, who's nowhere near as anointed, somebody who's shallow, and they'll go after her. But the crazy part is they don't stick with her. They don't stick with her. So the guy can be a 4. The girl can be a 10. If he nabs her, he's sitting there like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Can't believe it. I finally nabbed a 10. And then he's going to get that 10, and another 10 is going to look at him and be trying to figure out, why are you with her? What she want with you? Because you don't look all that good. And then that girl's going to start playing competition. And because he's shallow, he going to go to the next female. Because he's shallow. I don't like shallow men. I like a guy who is a leader. Like for me, I like a guy who can walk into a room and be like, he can choose whoever he wants, but he wants me. That's who I like. I don't like the shallow guy. I'm not interested in the shallow guy. I'm not interested in him. That's the reason why I wouldn't get mad at her. If she nabbed him, more power to them. Because at the end of the day, I want my husband to be saved, sanctified, filled all the way up with the Holy Ghost, casting out demons, raising the dead, and healing the sick. That's the type of man I want. You can have your gangsters. You can have your gangs, your dudes who are bound. I don't want no bound dude. I'm not attracted to bondage. A lot of people are attracted to bondage. A lot of y'all on here, you're attracted to bondage. You're attracted to bound men. You see a tattoo, which is a signal of a slave, and you like, He's sitting up on TikTok with no shirt on, tattoos here and here, making his nipples jump. And you see that and you're turned on and you're like, ugh, girl. What you say ooh to, I say to. What you say ooh to, I say to. It's filthy flesh. That's what I can listen. I downloaded TikTok. I haven't done no TikToks, but I be scrolling on there. And I look at some of these guys and I'm like, you gay as all outdoors. I'm scrolling like, I guess that's supposed to be sexy. I bet I can fit a cucumber up his. That's supposed to be cute. I'm looking at these guys and I'm like, and women are acting crazy over him. The dude has no power. He can't cast out any demons. He can't heal. All he can do is sit in the house and make his pecs twerk until he gets older. That's all he can do is sit there. He can't feed he can't feed nobody with them pecs. That's all he can do. And he likes that attention. Listen, I like a person who's fine, but it ain't going up here. He know it, but it hasn't turned into pride. His beauty hasn't become his stronghold. His beauty hasn't become his stronghold. I'm into masculine. A lot of them are. I'm not into the. I ain't into the flood pan wearing guys who wear boat shoes. It's just. So I'm not. If a guy is looking at me, I'm not, and he goes for somebody else, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him. I'm good, because at the end of the day, I am confident of this. The right one is going to find his way to Tiffany. All the wrong ones, they'll audition, but they're not going to get the part. And I love the fact that God will protect me to not even have to give him my phone number. I feel loved by God, because it's all in a matter of perspective. See, some of you feel rejected. I feel loved. I'm trying to change your mind. By the time you get off of here, I want your mind all the way changed. I don't feel rejected. I feel loved. I don't feel rejected by the guy. I feel loved by God, because God saw that ain't for you. That ain't for you. This guy is so shallow. You would spend the majority of your marriage trying to figure out what to cut off next and what to add on next. You will spend I would be up there talking about something. I think I need to get a nose job because my husband is shallow. You know what? I'm thinking. One day I'll be getting my lips cut to pieces, and I'll be walking around, lips looking like a fish. Like, next thing you know, some women come out, they got voluptuous lips, and that's popular. And then I got collagen. Now I'm walking around like, all because I'm trying my best to make sure that this man stays attracted to me. One day I got a long wig, the next day I got a short blonde one. I'm trying to figure out. I'm turning into all these characters, trying to figure out what he want. That's what you see with a lot of women. That's all they doing. They trying to figure out they got a man at home. The man is soul tied to like 700 different women, and they're having to become all of those women. Their minds are not stable. They're having to become all of those women in the house because the man don't show interest. Now it's been 2 weeks since he touched me. Now I got to try to figure out, man, it's got to be something wrong. So now I go out there and I got to cut my hair off, and I'm gonna cut my hair off. I'm gonna get some blue contact lenses. I'm gonna dye my hair like an auburn blonde, and then I gotta come home and look like a completely different woman. And then we gonna have sex a couple of times, and I'm gonna feel good because he finally showing interest in me and everything. And then he gonna get bored with that character, and now I gotta figure out who I need to be next based on who I see, who he looking at. The devil don't like me, y'all, because I'm gonna tell y'all how it works. Now I gotta sit up there and pay attention to who he paying attention to, because I gotta figure out what he want. So on TV, I'm watching him. He looking at Gabriel Union real heavy. Now I know, okay, so he seemed to be into, brown skin. She a little bit lighter than me. Yeah, so I'm wearing braids. He's about over this. Or let's say I had a blonde short do. So now I'm going to go get me a black, because I got to make sure my hair looks like hers. I'm going to go get me a black wig, and then I'm going to practice her facial movements. I'm going to practice all that. I'm going to practice her words and stuff like that. Then I'm going to be doing sit-ups like crazy. I had a tiger playing because I'm trying to get my man's attention. By the time I finally get to the point where I'm accepted again, rejection. There are women out there, they go through so much rejection in their home. And they done been like 312 cartoon characters for their husband. They done been like 312 cartoon characters for their husband. Because he dealing with rejection. And y'all over here jealous of those females because they look good on social media. Y'all over here jealous of them because when they come on social media, they look real good. They always got their hair done and all that. No. Why are you jealous of them? Now, I support I love to see creativity. I love to see women, because some people are just creative, so they're not doing that because they're rejected. Some people are, they change the crap out of their hair because they're creative and they're just trying to express their creativity. But there are some women, they're in relationships, they change up all the time because they trying to figure out what the man want. And you jealous of her? They trying to figure out, like, what do you want? They bring a friend over, and the guy, he paying attention to their friend. And next thing you know, you the friend, and you trying to figure out why she changing her hair to look like yours. What the heck is going on with you? Because her husband wants you. So she got to become all these different things. When you're a bound person, you have to be bound by whatever they're bound by. So that's the silly thing about being jealous. So I want to make sure I read this. Like I said, a sister in Christ, she shared this with me, and I got her permission to share it. And I wanted to deal with this, and I think this is going to help. This is going to bless many of y'all. Make sure that you're liking this. Make sure that you like this. Let me pull it back up. Okay, give me a second, guys. All right. Okay. All right, so I want to read it. I wanted to expose a demon by the name of jealousy. I noticed that when it comes to marriages, I will appear that I'm excited about the couple, but I don't respect marriages. I have been in adultery plenty of time. I have slept with married men, even encountered so-called serious relationships with married men. Then I realized that I did that because I wanted to be the chosen one. I had animosity towards marriages from when my mom chose my stepdad over me after he did something unacceptable. I grew up attached to men who were already taken or married. It became a thrill to see that momentarily I was able to capture the attention of these already taken men. I would play that woman who gives advice to the man I was with while subliminally twisting it up to make myself look like a hero to their broken relationships. I love her transparency. She's exposing the enemy. She's exposing it. She's exposing the enemy because she's saying, I don't want this no more. I get jealous of friends and cousins who have relationships that are long lasting. They having kids but not married. I know it's not right, but I still envy them. Watching them have their baby showers, experience motherhood, watching my cousin get moved into the most beautiful condo with a man not married, and sometimes I feel inferior because I'm still single. Why was I not stable enough to hold a relationship or have kids? Those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts when I'm looking through their glass window. Living as a side chick in marriages and relationships for years causes rejection to really enter, because at the end of each relationship, I was still not chosen. I'm still not married or don't have a relationship. I'm going to stop here and I'm going to come back. I wanted to stop here because I felt the presence of God. There's somebody on here. This is really truly ministering to you. This was just for you because you've been playing this role. So I'm going to get back in it. I have no parts of that lifestyle anymore. That spirit has really been trying to come back. I thought I saw movement. My exes are calling who are enraged. One lived with a woman. Yes, I declined, but there is still some jealousy toward people who are in relationships, rather it be of God or not. I'm jealous. I wrote this because I almost wanted to angry text my cousin who was in a relationship that looked successful. She got everything she needed with this guy. I mean, we are extremely close. If she only knew my heart, she would be devastated. She said, instead of angry texting, I created this. I didn't yield. I love her transparency. There's a book called Psychology. It sounds good. I love her transparency. She exposed a spirit that had been operating in her life. And by doing that, my pastor always says, he talked about whatever you talk about, what you struggle with is basically like you take it outside of yourself and you point at it and you're throwing rocks at it. You're saying, I don't want it anymore. You're no longer in an agreement with it. So she exposed the demon and she exposed it. And I wanted to deal with this because, I told her I was going to deal with it. I want to deal with this because a lot of women struggle with this. And I'm going to tell you why a lot of women struggle with it is because the enemy has been lying to them. Thank you, Sister Tiara, for the seed. God bless you. And thank you, Sister Jasmine, for the seed as well. God bless y'all. Thank y'all. But I wanted to deal with this. She wrote this to me, but it's been, I told her I was going to deal with it. I'm just not getting around to it. I wanted to deal with this because a lot of women struggle with this. And we talked about lack of information. It's just a lack of information. Wherever you lack information, we're going to use this again. This is a representation of information. The water represents information. Up here is the lack of information. Wherever you lack information, the enemy will fill you up. He will give you the answers you think you need. And they're going to be lies, of course. Some of them are going to be half truths, but he'll tell you whatever it is that you need to hear or whatever you want to hear. Me, I hung around side chicks when I was in the world. I hung around beautiful women who were seductive, who had a hard time getting young guys to commit. And for that very reason, they did what seductive women do. They slowly made their way over into becoming a side chick, because that's what the enemy is grooming them for. The enemy hates marriage. God said where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he is in the midst. The enemy hates marriage because if a husband gives his life to Christ and a wife is saved, they are a danger to the enemy. They're a danger to his kingdom. Satan knows that he hates that, so he's going to try to get you to partner with an unsaved man. He's going to try to get you to partner with a double-minded man. He's going to try to get you to go out here and have sex outside of marriage. He's going to try to get you to do all types of things. But his goal in the end is to get you to destroy marriages. Kill, steal, and destroy. He wants to use you. A side chick, a mistress, is a destroyer. A mistress is a destroyer. Her assignment is to destroy a marriage. It's to turn the heart of the guy to her. It's to turn the heart of the guy to her. So I'm going to go through her what she shared, and I'm going to give you some wisdom behind it. And I want you guys, if you know somebody who's struggling, I want you to make sure that you share this. Make sure you share it on social media. Even, share it with them, but share it on social media as well. There are people out there, you have no idea, who need to hear this. They need to hear this because the enemy has lied to them. The enemy has got them thinking that you win whenever you're a side chick and a man is paying attention to you. It throws them into this competition. And it makes them feel like they win, especially if the guy stays all night with the woman. I'm going to expose that devil. He stays all night knowing that his wife is at home crying. It makes her feel superior. It makes her feel some type of way. But the reality of it is that the enemy is using her to destroy. The guy within himself is exhibiting narcissistic traits. So what he's doing is he's punishing his wife. Whenever he's staying out with the side chick, he's punishing his wife for not giving him something that he wants, or for giving him something that he didn't want, or whatever. He's punishing his wife. It's all punishment. So anyhow, let me get into it. I wanted to expose a demon by the name of jealousy. I noticed that when it comes to marriages, I will appear that I'm excited about the couple, but I don't respect marriages. I love the fact that she exposed that. And one of the ways that you learn to respect a marriage is by studying the structure of God's relationship with us. God's relationship with us is the closest thing that mirrors marriage than anything. God's relationship with us is the reason Satan hates marriage so much, because it's very similar to our relationship with God. As a matter of fact, God uses terminology throughout the Bible that references marriage. He says, you played the whore. He calls himself our husband. He uses terminology throughout the Bible. It's very similar to marriage. As a matter of fact, the strength of your marriage is going to be based on the strength of your husband's relationship with God, or the strength of your relationship with God. Marriage is a reflection of your relationship with God. That's the reason why I tell you, when you're not mature yet, when you're still broken, don't think a man can fix you, because you're going to get a reflection of yourself. And if he's not reflecting Christ, you think he's going to fix you, he's going to bring you more hurt. He's going to bring you more hurt. It'll be fun during the honeymoon stage. It'll be fun in the beginning. It'll be fun during the dating. And, it'll be fun when y'all are in the bedroom for the first few times or what have you. But at some point, his issue with God is going to manifest, and you're not going to like it, because God will allow you to have a front row seat to it. And then you find yourself the same way he doesn't love God, he won't genuinely love you. The same way he doesn't love God, he cannot and will not love you, because God says we have to love him with all of our mind, all of our strength, and all of our heart, and love our neighbors as we love ourselves. If we don't love him, we cannot love our neighbors because we don't love ourselves. It all starts with me loving God first and me maturing. He calls it perfect love. That doesn't mean I'm perfect, but it's called perfect love. That means mature love. I have mature love for him, meaning I understand that, you know what, even if he don't give me what I want, he's still good. Even if he doesn't, like, even when my mom, when she was sick and, I'm praying for her to live, and I was praying and praying over her, laying hands on her. I done done all of that. He the one told me to go to Mississippi and get her. I would have did it, but he gave me the strength. I did all of that. And then she still died. But my love for him says, I understand you. Even when I don't understand you, I understand, if nothing else, that you are God and that you are sovereign. I understand that, you know what? While I'm sitting here going by my prayers and my selfishness, at the end of the day, my mom was standing there in heaven saying, I don't want to go back. See, we don't think about that stuff. We think about, I'm praying, why is God not healing this person? Somebody gonna get healed tonight. Somebody gonna get healed in the grief department. Could it be that relative that you were praying to live was in the presence of God? To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And they said, I don't want to go back. While you were praying for them to survive, they in the presence of God. They had this sin-riddled body that sin manifested as sickness. They had all of these issues in their body. And all of a sudden, they're in their glorious body. Ain't no pain. There's no sadness. There's nothing there. It's nothing but joy. And you up there talking about, God, bring them back, bring them back, bring them back, bring them back. And God looks at them and says, okay, you want to go back? Because, we got a window of minute. You want to go back? And they're like, no. They'll heal. They'll heal. You have to consider those type of things. A lot of times we look at it from, why didn't my prayer work? Your prayer does not work against the will of another human being. Your prayer does not work with God against the will of another human being. Now, in witchcraft, you can start going against somebody's will, and the enemy will try to wear down their will. But God does not come against the will of another human being. So while my mom's standing there in heaven, and I'm praying over her like, God said to me, I was praying over my mom. He said, your mom doesn't want to come back. I told my sister that the night before my mom passed away, I said, I was praying over my mom. I had my hands on my mom praying. She was at my house. I was praying over her. And then the Lord said, your mother doesn't want to come back. And I turned around. I told my sister, and she started crying. She was like, no. I said, God said my mom don't want to come back. My mom was still alive. My mom passed the next morning. It was nighttime. She was gone the next morning. God was giving me peace. What he was trying to tell me is that I'm in control. I don't want you to feel as if your prayers didn't work or I didn't hear your prayers. You're dealing with the will of somebody else. This is the will of another human being. So I know we kind of deviated, but like you said, she doesn't respect marriages. That lack of respect comes from a lack of understanding. It comes from a lack of understanding. When you lack understanding, there can be no respect where there is no understanding. Because for you, you're going to fill in the blanks. You're going to look and say, look at her, all married and happy. I bet she thinks she's better than me. I bet she thinks she got it going on. Look at her. And that's not the case. So I want to move on because I don't want to spend too much time there. Yeah, it went a little longer than I expected. I have been in adultery plenty of time. I've slept with married men, even encountered so-called serious relationships with married men. Then I realized that I did that because I wanted to be the chosen one. I had animosity towards marriages from when my mom chose my stepdad over me after he did something unacceptable. I love this. She's exposing why she got bound. This was the root to her bondage. The enemy decides what he wants you to be. So a lot of people don't realize this. The enemy decided a long time for you that you were going to be a side chick and a whore. That's it. That's all. Once the enemy makes a decision about you, he solidifies it. That's it. You're a side chick. He will hurt you and he will put you around the wrong people until you become what he's decided that you're going to be. He'll keep putting you in the wrong situations. He'll put, and knowing that you lack substance. Thank you, Sister Tamar, for the seed. God bless you. But knowing that you lack substance, he'll keep putting you in situations around people so that you don't get the love that you need. You don't get the answers, the information. You're always trying to fill your void with people. You're always trying to use people as bandages. And so in this, she said, I've been in adultery plenty of time. I've slept with married men, even encountered so-called serious relationships with married men. Then I realized I did that because I wanted to be the chosen one. I said this to you guys, and I'm going to say it again. The side chick mentality is not focused on the man. Somebody need to send this to somebody's husband who curled up with a side chick right now. The side chick is focused on the wife. The side chick is jealous of the wife. That's it. She's jealous of what the wife has. She despises marriages because of what happened to her. Because something happened to her that hurt her. The enemy wanted to, I'm not going to do the clay because I've done that plenty of times. The enemy wanted to mold her into a side chick, and that's what he did. Every time somebody hurt her, every time somebody left her for somebody else, every time somebody rejected her, the enemy was shaping her into what he decided that she was going to be. That's what he decided. So when she comes, she's warfare on heels against your marriage. That's it, and that's all. She don't love that guy. She don't want him. She will have it. She will have his babies, but still not love him. And that confuses a lot of guys. I watch, y'all know Judge Judy has been my go-to show. I watched Judge Judy today, and there was this one episode on there where this guy, he was crying like a baby. I felt really bad for him. He married a woman from Russia. And it turned out the woman only wanted a green card. After they got married, he brought her over to America. He paid over $45,000 to get her to America, her and her daughter. She had him to pay like $11,000, I think, to get her teeth fixed, all of that. And after she got what she wanted, they got into an argument. She told him, I don't want you. I want a divorce. I only came over here. I just wanted a green card. And she got her green card and divorced him. So he was suing her for some of that money back. Judge Judy, the most money they can give you back is a small claims court. So the most money you can get back is $5,000. But the enemy will allow that type of stuff. So in his particular case, the enemy has decided what he wants him to become as well. She's been hurt to hurt people. This is what hurt people do. Hurt people to get you into shape for you to become what Satan has decided that he wants you to become. So she said, I had animosity toward marriages. Let's move on. I grew up attracted to men who were already taken or married. It became a thrill to see that momentarily I was able to capture their attention. Her competition is not with the guy. The competition is with the woman. It's taking your attention from the female. That's it. That's the thrill. Taking your attention from the female. When I was a seductress, for me, when I involved myself as a side chick, it wasn't about my case, I was just addicted to sex. I was broken and I was addicted to sex. And I remember the guy that the first time I tried to play that role, the guy had a girlfriend, a living girlfriend. They had a child and all that. And I was 18 years old and he was 8 years my senior. So he was an older guy. He was a challenge. I was super seductive, size 4, big head, size 4 child, but I was super seductive. And I was in the belief that I could have whatever I wanted. I could have any guy I wanted. That was the belief I had. I was a cocky little girl. And this guy comes over to my mom's house, my mom's apartment. And he's coming there with my brother. He's helping out my brother. He's coming with my brother. And he keeps looking at me. And I recognize that, look, I was a broken person. I didn't care that he had a girlfriend. I didn't care. As a matter of fact, I wasn't the type of person that went after somebody who had a man, but my friends were doing it. So I did it out of curiosity. I sat up there and I made a decision. I want to mess with his mind. I want to make it like the way he looking at me. I want to turn it up. I want to turn it up a little bit more. So what did I do? Whenever I knew he was coming over, if my brother said, "Oh, such and such coming over," what have you, I would put on. I even remember some of the outfits that I had. I remember this white and pink outfit that I had. I had a picture at my mom's house. I should have got it, where it was like tie up under the breast and it was short. I used to love to show off my belly button. That was a spirit. Women have a power, or there's a spirit that will occupy certain body parts of a woman. Um, some women can have powers in their breast. So when a man looks, he gets caught. That's how the enemy captures him. Some women can have power in their eyes, or some women can have power in their lips, or what have you. That's a whole demonology teaching, or what have you. But there are books on that. But a woman, the enemy will occupy whatever space that she has pride in. So if a guy tells you, "Man, you got some gorgeous eyes," and you start using your eyes to capture people, then that's where that spirit can get right behind your eyes. And so from that point, I can see women, even in the church, you can see women who use their eyes to capture people. They'll just kind of, and you can see women who they may have something in their eyes and their lips. They'll look at a guy, they'll kind of look down and they'll bite their lips. They know what they're doing. They're capturing the guy. They're creating a moment right there, right then and there, that's going to become a snapshot in the guy's mind. That's the goal of it. They know how to look at you, how long to look at you, when to look away. They know exactly what to do. That's a power. So I went after this guy knowing that he had a girlfriend, and I didn't want him. I didn't want a relationship with him. I didn't want to take him from a female. I didn't want him. I just wanted his attention. I just wanted to be, I wanted to mesmerize him. I wanted him to salivate when he saw me. Because I was broken. I wanted him to salivate. So when my brother would say, "Oh, such and such is coming over," I would go up in the room, put on I knew what to put on. I would do that. I would put on something really short and seductive or what have you. And I would just I would walk through the living room. Pay attention. You'll see people women still do that. Christian women do that. I will walk right past them. Excuse me. I'd walk right past them. Hold up. I walk right past them. Whoops. I got it. We know what to do. We knew what to do. We know how to bait him in. And I played a mind game with this guy. It was more about me bringing his attention to me. And we'll get back to this. It was more about me bringing his attention to me. And I've shared this story with you guys. That guy was still bound 30-something years later. Well, 20-something years later. And I had to pray for him. But when he reached out to me, by the time he reached out to me, I was saved. And he was went through a divorce. And he was like, "I've been thinking about you for 20 years. Dude was still bound. I was like, "Dude, that girl is dead. You came looking for that woman. I set you free in the name of Jesus. I release you from that spell." But I had to be honest with him. "Dude, I didn't love you. I was actually messing with your mind back then. I had fun messing with his mind." As a matter of fact, he got to the point where he would come to my mom's house and act like he didn't know my brother wasn't there. He like, and I'm like, "He's not here. He's not." I'm like, "Oh, he told me he's gonna be." I was like, "He'll probably be here soon. Come on in." And he like, all right, he comes sit in the living room, and my sister's messed up because of me. My sister's messed up because of me. Because I did some crazy stuff. Like, I was 18, she was 12. And she saw me. She used to laugh at me doing that kind of stuff. I sat back and I'm like, "Oh, such and such coming over here." And I remember going into the living room and lighting candles, or what have you, because I knew he was coming. Or, he going to stop by, lighting candles and putting on something and then putting on music or what have you. And I was a dancer. I could dance. So I just go to messing with his mind, and he would be, and I would just walk off. I had fun doing it. That was my thing. I didn't want him. He thought I did. I didn't. I didn't want him. I wanted his attention. I should have called it side chicks. I should have called this something dealing with side chicks, so y'all know. So let me move on. I grew up attracted to men who were already taken or married. It became a thrill to see that momentarily I was able to capture the attention of these already, they want attention. I will play that woman who gives advice to the man. I love this. Excuse me. I love when the enemy is exposed. I will play that woman who gives advice to the man I was with while subliminally twisting it to make myself look like a hero to their broken relationships. I've seen this. This is a dance of the web. It is a move that people do, is to entangle a man into a web. So a woman will come, and I remember saying this to when I was married, my ex, and he was like, "Oh, that woman been trying to help me with our marriage." I'm like, "Dude, she ain't trying to help you. She trying to act like she helping you. You talking to somebody who lived a little bit. So you that'll work on somebody else, but that ain't gonna work on me. You talking to somebody who lived a little bit. I'm trying to tell you, she's making it look like she's trying to help you. Well, no, you should just buy her flowers. No, just go out and get her something. Here, I'll come with you. No, here, Amazon. We got Amazon right now, right? And act like she the coolest girl in the world. Here go Amazon. Matter of fact, let me pull up something on Amazon. All right, let me find give me a second, guys. I'm just being silly right now. This is an ugly ring. I'm just picking it up. You should buy her this. Now this is an ugly ring, so don't nobody try to buy this for me. I don't like this. But I'm just saying, I don't like. But this is what a side chick would do. Side chick mentality. No, you should really get her this. I think she would really like this. The whole time, this is what she really wants. Or sometimes it's not what she wants. Sometimes it's something that she knew is ugly. You should get her this. It lowers the man's defense. It lowers his defense. It makes him feel like the female has his back. It lowers his defense. Right. Pep ring. Yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible ring. But it lowers his defense. It makes him feel like she has his back. Because if she comes straight out and say, "Dude, I want you," maybe he is a faithful guy. A faithful guy can become a faithful guy can be unfaithful. A faithful guy can be unfaithful. It's all about capturing him in a moment, and that's what a lot of times what side chicks rely on. They capture a man in a moment, and so if the guy knows that she's coming after him, he's gonna put his guards up, and he'll kind of remove himself from that. So she has to pose as a friend. Satan does disguise himself as an angel of light. She has to pose as a friend in order to get him to lower his guard, and then when he lowered his guard, she's able to, cast herself as everything he wants. And while she's doing it, she's turning his heart away from his wife to her. She's turning his heart. And in a moment of weakness, he leans in for a kiss. In a moment of weakness, he goes home and he lays in the bed. Because this is the goal of the side chick, is she wants to be on his mind. He lays in the bed and he can't stop thinking about her. Thank you, Sister Venetra. God bless you. I love this. Y'all are awesome. Y'all in the spirit. All of y'all, everybody that's sown the seed has sown the same amount. Y'all in the spirit. Y'all have sown the same amount. Y'all in the spirit. But yeah, this is for the book. Okay, it's for the book. It just dawned on me. I'm thinking y'all sowing. This for the book. It's still a seed. God bless y'all. I'm talking about y'all in the spirit. It just dawned on me. So good. Make sure for those of you who don't know, I am selling this for $40 only. Well, for $30, so you can cash at me. I do have 40 copies of it that I'm going to be sending out this week. All right. So long story short, she can cast herself as what he wants in that moment, because it only takes a moment of weakness. It only takes a moment of weakness. That's all. Because he lowered his guard in an event called trust. it takes a moment of weakness for him, especially if things are hard at home, if things have gotten stressful. This is it's the play of the enemy. The enemy, a snake moves like this. It's weaving. Can't get in over here, I'm gonna get in over here. Can't get in over here, go up here. Go up here. It finds a way to make its way on in. It's bobbing and weaving. So when you're dealing with the side chick mentality, she's able to move herself in and to manipulate. And in that moment, just that little weak moment, he can make a wrong decision. In that weak moment, he can go home and think about that woman while in the bed with his wife and just not know why he can't stop thinking about it. He can start thinking and laughing. And if you've ever been married to a man who's broken, you look at what you laughing at, what you staring off into nowhere. Why you staring off into nothingness like that? I know that look. What's up? What's up with you, boy? But in that moment of weakness, he can start thinking. And before long, it's because that's in his heart, it's gonna start manifesting in his body. A side chick knows that. And before long, he'll move in. And a side chick is not necessarily trying to take his heart in all the cases. Sometimes it's just the event. She wants to get something to ensnare him with. Oh, you did it. It's too late now. It's too late now. You know, there are guys out there in relationships with side chicks because they couldn't get out because they messed up one time. And the side chick, and they're afraid that she's going to go tell their wife. They're afraid of that. They're afraid of that. They're afraid of that. So let's go ahead and move on, guys. I get jealous of friends and cousins who have relationships that are long lasting. They have kids. They're having kids, but not married. Now, I want to hit that real quick before. I know it's not right, but I still envy them. Watching them have their baby showers, experience motherhood, watching my cousin get moved into the beautiful condo with a man not married. And sometimes I feel inferior because I'm still single. This is important for you guys to hear because a lot of you single women, you still deal with this. You look at family members and friends, and that's how the enemy starts to shape you into a side chick, is through an event called jealousy, is to get you to compare yourself to somebody else. You should never, and the Bible tells us, this is scripture, you should never envy the deeds of wickedness. You should never, like a woman going out and having sex outside of marriage and having a baby is not something I'm going to envy. I'm not going to look at her guy and be like, because that signals that I lack information or I lack knowledge, because I'm envisioning that they have a beautiful relationship and that they send their way into a blessing and that God's going to bless it. People, in a lot of cases, when they're in a relationship, if they're doing wrong, they're not going to want to be around me because I can tell them the truth and they don't want to hear it. A lot of times when you're dealing with people when you're young and you're naive, all you want is everybody to actually make a contribution towards your fantasy. You have this fantasy going in your mind. And in the fantasy, y'all got the perfect family. Y'all gonna have, all these babies, all this. And, God, he knows your heart. You're a great person and you're not bad. And God's going to just bless you and everything. You're creating a foundation. You're creating a foundation. And when you put sin in that foundation, it's going to be an unstable foundation. Whatever you sow, the Bible says, that shall you also reap. So if I sow on the foundation of adultery or fornication, if I sow on that foundation, even though it looks good, because new cars smell good in the beginning until you get the car note and you have to pay that insurance bill. It looks good in the beginning. Everything looks nice and beautiful and all that other stuff. There comes a time where the price tag, where you have to pay the piper. And I've lived that life. I've lived that and I've experienced that. There came a time where I had to pay the piper. There came a time where I sinned my way into a marriage and, hey, I'm sitting there. I got this good looking guy. We taking these photos. Everything looks good. But at some point I had to pay the piper. And it's just like a loan. I always use this example. It's like a loan. You go to a loan company and microscribology, it will bless your life. But you go to a loan company and let's say if I go into a loan company and I said, hey, I want to get a $50,000 loan. When they give me that loan, look, it feels good. I'm excited about that loan. I'm excited about what I'm about to go do with that loan. Thank you, Sister Regina. God bless you. God bless you. But I'm excited about what I'm about to do with that loan. Listen. I'm going. I'm sitting up there thinking about, $50,000. I'm gonna go do this, and I think I'm gonna pay my rent up for the year because I'm tired. I hate paying rent. I do hate paying rent every month, but I'm gonna pay my rent for a year. I think I'm gonna go get me a car about $10,000. Yeah, I'm excited about it. But here's the thing about debt. Debt is not from God. It's slavery. At some point, I got to pay the piper. At some point, I got to pay off that loan. I got to pay it back. And I don't know if these are new. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Venitra. Thank you, Tara. I'm just now seeing the cash apps. Thank you guys. I'm making sure it's still okay. Make sure I like, but for me, well, when it comes to the loan, a loan is real fun in the beginning. That's how a relationship is when you're doing it in sin. It's fun in the beginning. It can be fun for 2 years. At some point, the foundation is going to be tested. At some point, the winds of change are going to come up against it. At some point, yes, that's it. Thank you. That's it. At some point, I'm gonna have to pay the price. That loan that I got for a vehicle, I gotta pay it back, and I gotta pay interest on it. I have to pay interest on it. That's the same way relationships work. If you do it the wrong way, this is the reason why you don't ever envy somebody in sin. I don't care how saved they are. If they in sin, don't envy that because they gotta pay that back. They're getting an advance because they were impatient and didn't want to wait to do things the right way. So they're getting an advance. They got to pay that back. It comes back. You have to understand, if I go into fornication, I'm only getting an advance. If the man of God come and God says, Tiffany, this is the man I have picked for you, handpicked. You said pick him, I picked him. I can still mess up with that guy. We can weave something into our foundation that should not be there. It's called microscribology, guys. But we can weave something into our foundation that should not be there. And guess what? In the beginning, you'll catch me on social media like this, taking the cute little photos, and he over me kissing me, and I'm like, in the beginning. But at some point, I gotta pay the piper. This is why you don't sit up there and envy nobody. Like I said, y'all gonna get free from envy today. This is why you don't envy anybody. At some point, I gotta pay that. At some point, the female that sat there and decided to die it out and to cry it out, and she watched men walk away because she wouldn't have sex with them. She sat there, she went through that, and she was perpetually single. It looked like when nobody coming for her, nobody giving her attention, it looked bad for her. Baby, she gets envied in the end. That's how the story ends. In the end, you see her walking with an amazing guy because she did not give in. Her foundation is solid with that guy. She scared off everybody who was broken because she wouldn't give in. Her foundation with that guy is straight solid. It's solid. So she cried while she was single. She said, Lord, I'm tired of being single. Lord, I'm tired of waiting. But yet and still, God, I trust you, and I'm not going to sin. God, if I have to go to my grave like this way, I would do it. God, I honor you with this body of mine, even though it hurt and I want to be in a relationship. I'm honoring you. I'm listening, Lord. Romans 12:1. I'm presenting this body as a living sacrifice to you, a holy and acceptable, which is my reasonable service. You are worthy of that. This is my honor to you. This is my worship to you. This is my way of exalting you, God. I'm giving you this body of mine. I'm giving you this body. God will send that man who is solid. Solid. This man has walked on fire and been proven and tested. God says, I got the perfect woman for you. While the other female who took the shortcut and got an advance on her relationship. She's sitting up there in the bathroom while her man sleep. I've been her before. I've lived this thing. While her man sleep in the bathroom, trying to figure out his password. What's the last four numbers of his social security number? 3218. Okay. That's not nobody's actual one. I'm just making up numbers. Bingo. You go, voila. I remember doing that to my ex, being married, and I used to steal his phone and be in the bathroom. Cause she knows he listen, he couldn't keep his pants up while he was dating her. He ain't gonna keep it up while he married to her. Who are we to think that a person's gonna be more faithful to us than he are to God? They cannot. Unless he goes and repents and dies to himself, he is not gonna be faithful to her. It's in his loins. It's a law in his body. He did not get delivered from it. So she'll find herself in the bathroom. And y'all envying her. Huh? Yes. Who is this? This is Michael's wife. I saw your number in his phone. What? I'm gonna hang up in my face. She's making an investment. Let's get back to this, guy, because I'll go deep. I'll go off in a rabbit hole and go deep into that. It ain't gonna look nice for her. And you envy that? You want that? You think you want it. I lived it. You don't want it. Trust me. I've lived it. And I've lived it. Had the guy laying in the bed who was a 10. A 10 up in there. But you know what? He a 10, but I can't hold him for myself. Because he giving me 4% of himself. He giving another girl 3%. He giving another girl 2%. He rationing himself out. What good is it to have a 10 that shares himself? What good is it to have and you sit up there like, why am I not good enough for you? What else do you want? You envy that. Envy is the breath, or that is the what am I trying to say? It is the stuff that side chicks are made of. If the devil can get jealousy in you, he can turn you into a side chick. Thank you. Okay, now it's starting to notify me. It wasn't notifying me at first. Thank you, Sister Nettie. And okay, you got the book. And thank you, Sister Regina. Thank you again, Sister Regina. God bless you. Okay, for the book. All right. Make sure y'all send me your addresses so I can ship them. But the enemy will get you to thinking that he'll get you to thinking that if I put it on him right, if I do the right thing, he'll love me and he'll be faithful. And it won't happen. It won't happen. She found herself in the bathroom. I remember finding myself in the bathroom. I used to break into this man's phone so much. I broke into it. And sometimes I would lock his phone. He would have to take it to the factory so that they can restore it because I had locked it from trying to get into it. But most of the time I was able to get in. And I remember I'd be listening to his voicemail. Then get hurt because of what I hear on the voicemail. Hey, is she around? Call me. You left something in my house. And he up in there asleep. And I go up in there and I would snatch the cover off of him. Wake up! He'd be like, what? Yeah, I just listened to your voicemail. And I'm going off. And you envy that? You envy that? Y'all, let me get back into this. I had the big house. I had the nice car. I had the fine guy. But I was miserable and suicidal. You envy that? You think you want that? You don't want that. So let me go ahead. I get jealous of friends and cousins who have relationships that are long lasting. They having kids, not married. Okay, so we dealt with that. Don't envy somebody who does it the wrong way because the foundation is not good, and it's gonna come back to bite them. I know it's not right, but I still envy them. Watching them have their baby showers, experience motherhood, beautiful condo with a man, not married, and sometimes I feel inferior because I'm still single. Why was I not stable enough to hold a relationship or have kids? Those are my thoughts when I'm looking through their glass window. Living as a side chick in marriages and relationships for years causes rejection. And that's what the enemy wants to do, because the more he causes you to feel rejected, the more he can get you deeper and deeper into the whole side chick thing. So living as a side chick in marriage and relationships for years causes rejection to really enter, because at the end of each relationship, I still was not chosen. For the side chick is all about being chosen. It's a competition with your wife. That's it. That's all. It's a competition with your wife. She's the real you. You just a pawn in the game. You're a penis and a pawn in the game. That's it. But the real goal is to win against her. It's a race against the wife. So where was I? I'm still not married, nor do I have a relationship. I want no parts of that lifestyle anymore. That spirit has really been trying to come back. My exes are calling, who are enraged. One lived with a woman. Yes, I declined, but there is still some jealousy toward people who are in relationships, whether it be from God, be of God or not. I'm jealous. I want to speak to this, and I've said this 1,000 times, and I want to make sure that I say it in your hearing. Your exes should not have your phone number. If you still have the phone number you had when they were calling you, invest $10 and change it. You want God to move? You want to get married? No man should have your phone number. Matter of fact, I'm going to challenge you. If I go out here, I got my line, all this. If I go out here and I meet a guy, and I'm thinking, we exchange phone numbers, and I'm thinking we can potentially build something. I'm getting to know him, he getting to know me, what have you. We start, courting, dating, whatever. And then all of a sudden it doesn't work. Chances are I'm going to change my number. Now, I'm not a person that changes my number often, because I don't give my number out often. For those of you who give your number out often, you probably don't want to do that. But I will go years without giving my number out. So I had my last phone number for 8 years. This phone number that I have now, I don't think any guy has it. Besides, brothers in Christ, people that they're married, or they ain't coming for me, them or nothing like that. But like, there's no guy that's single and showing any type of romantic interest in me that has his number. But anytime you have a phone number that an ex has access to, that represents a point of access. The wise thing to do is to change your number. And one of the reasons I say that, I always use this example. I want you to imagine being on a date with a guy. It's your 4th date. You really like him, and he really likes you. You really feel God on that. You feel real good about that. There's no insecurity. The enemy wants to put some insecurity in that relationship, because if there's insecurity, there's going to be instability, and it won't stand, especially when there's no substance there. So let's say, I have 2-3 guys that got my phone number, and I'm on a date with a guy, and this is like our 4th date, and I really like him. And we're talking or what have you, and I got my little book, and I'm like, my microbiology, dude, I'm trying to tell you. So we talking and all that, and and we talking, everything's going good. Then my phone starts ringing. This dude ain't called me in like 5 months. But something in the spirit realm told this guy to call me. I don't know what the heck happened. That night, I may end up getting 2 or 3 calls from 2 or 3 different guys who I haven't heard from in months. That night, in that moment, I'm sitting there looking like, the heck he calling me for? So now I got, so to keep it from being too weird, I've explained, make sure you guys are liking this, and make sure that if you haven't subscribed, that you subscribe. But in that moment, first I'm over here trying to dodge it. So now that's making me look really suspicious. So to not look suspicious and not to be hitting the hang up button, I may have to pick it up. Hello? I am on a date. Why are you calling my phone? what am I doing is I'm creating insecurity in this guy across from me, because now he realizes there's nothing special about me. There are other people who have this phone number. There are other guys. I'm just another one that she's just trying to nab. There's nothing special. So you want to always make sure that your number goes through your deliverance. Did y'all hear that? Your phone needs to go through deliverance. You need to purge your phone of your exes, and your phone number needs to go through deliverance. Your exes should not have your phone number. They should not be able to access you. I wouldn't even block them. I would just change their phone number. I would just change my phone number. Because blocking them, just for me, thank you, Sister Ashley. I've learned from blocking people myself that people, whenever they really want to reach you, they can still call you from a different phone, and they will call you at some point. They will call you at some point. It's crazy. The Cash Apps, they're showing up on Cash App, but I'm just now starting to get the text messages. But they will call you at some point, and it's usually going to be at a very inconvenient point. It can be during a time of weakness when you really want somebody to talk to or what have you. But they'll call you. So it's always better to change your phone number. It's always better to change your phone number. Let's go ahead and move on. I want no parts of their lifestyle anymore. That spirit has really been trying to come back. My exes are calling who are engaged. One lived with a woman. Yes, I declined. But there is still some jealousy toward people who are in relationships, whether it be of God or not. And so to all of my sisters who struggle with that, with jealousy, you just need information. You have to understand that there are different types of relationships. There's a relationship that I can get into that all of you guys would envy, but I'll be at home going through hell. I'll be at home in the bathroom going through his text messages. There's a relationship like that where I can be getting my eyes black. I can be getting dragged through the house. I can be getting drop kicked. Those relationships are very prevalent. Believe it or not, a lot of relationships you see, they are not happy. So a woman who doesn't necessarily wait is not going to have a happy relationship. It just looks pretty from the outside. Me having been married, I can tell you that's what you do when you're in a relationship. You try to make it look good. Because the thing is, you don't want nobody to know what you're going through. You don't want nobody to know that you're miserable, because there are people out there that are rooting for your relationship or your marriage to fail. And so you spend a lot of time. I told a sister in Christ that she was cracking up at me yesterday. What I used to do when I was married to my ex, we would be going off on each other, arguing. We'd go out in public, we'd be arguing or what have you. Somebody come walking up, he would grab my hand. And, I'm sitting there, he holding my hand. And we're like, hey, how you doing? That's so nice. Because in the South, we would talk, don't let nobody in your business. So you had to put on the front. So we talking and all that. And then they were like, well, it's so good to see you. Look at y'all love birds. Listen, I got my fingernail in his hand. Then when she walk off, snatch my hand back. My hand. You looking at stuff that's a mirage. It's a show for you. And there are people out there, they're so broken and rejected, they live by the spirit of jealousy. They got to make you jealous of them. And I told y'all this on the last one. They have to make you jealous of them. They have a spirit of jealousy in them, and it's fed by you getting jealous. So what they do is they take pictures and post it to social media with the intent of making people jealous. That's it. They're not as happy as they look on the photo. Listen, I want to show you something. See how easy it was for me to do that? You can tell when people are not happy because they do stupid stuff on their photos. They overshow. So, and you can interpret the photos. Like if you see a woman taking a picture with a sleeping guy, she a side chick. She a side chick, or she a wife trying to prove to the side chick where he at. That's it. She in a game of tug of war. She take a picture and she laying down beside the guy, and she like about to go in there, and you see his head kind of peeping. She showed that picture. That picture is for some man. This stuff is a science for me. Y'all don't want this. That's for the side chick. When I see that, I'm like, oh, child, you need to get out that marriage. That's for the side. That's the side chick trying to make the wife mad. That's the wife trying to make the side chick mad. Same people who are in happy, stable relationships Don't take pictures of them. I'm not going to be in a bed with my husband taking a picture while he's asleep. Or taking a picture cuddled up while he's got no clothes on. And I'm covered up. You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to show the side chick that me and my man, we just got it in. We just got it in. So I'm trying to show the side chick. That's all about making her mad and making her leave him alone. I'm trying to show her he lied to you. When he told you that me and him were having problems in our marriage and that everything, he lied to you. And y'all over here looking at them pictures like, she got a pair of warm thighs in the bed with her. No warm thighs in the bed with everybody. Don't warm thighs. You don't want that? You sitting there envying that and you don't even know what them pictures is about. When I see people pictures, I know what they're about. I was deep in that system. I was deep in the world. I know what those pictures are about. When I see somebody taking a picture, for example, they constantly taking a picture of them with their guy and the guy's he trying not to get in the photo. That's to make somebody mad. He got his head turned in the photo or he just kind of looked like this in the photo. That's to make somebody mad. And y'all looking at that and you took the bait. Thank you, Sister Haley. I will. You took the bait. You didn't even know it was bait. It's bait. The goal of it is to make somebody mad. I see women. I'm gonna move on, but lady on my Facebook profile, she posts up pictures. She's married. This is a science for me, guys. But she posts up pictures of lingerie. She's married. Say, I'm going to wear this for my husband tonight. She will lay it out on the bed. Put the heels beside it that she's going to wear for her husband. Why would you want to show that to the world? Y'all want to know why? Y'all want to know why? Raise your hands. If you don't know why, raise your hand. You want to know why? Why does she take pictures of her? Where's them hands? I don't see them. Why does she take pictures of lingerie and high heel shoes? No, it's not insecurities. It's not insecurities. I don't see no hands raised, so I ain't going to answer it. There's a reason that, okay, there we go. There we go. Now, it's not because husband's cheating. It's not because husband's cheating. She's still soul tied to an ex. She's still soul tied to an ex. There's a man out there, his family's on her friends list. Guaranteed. Family members and mutual friends. He broke it off with her. He rejected her. He walked out of her life. So she takes that picture and posts it to social media to show him what he missed. It's a science, guys. It's all about showing him. She posts up pictures of food and everything. It's all about showing the next guy what he missed. And men, my brothers, sometimes y'all can be naive. That's why you need sisters in Christ. Your wife still soul tied to somebody. She posting that picture up. Guaranteed. She got kids and they're probably with another guy. And she got them on her friends list. Either his family, or she don't have to have kids with him, but somebody in his family, some mutual friends, somebody on her friends list. Her page is 9 times out of 10 open. She's showing him what he missed. She's showing him, this could have been you. You see, I just cooked this shrimp scampi. You see, I'm doing this. Look at the lingerie I'm wearing for my man tonight. Posting up seductive pictures, and that ain't for the man. That ain't even for you, sis. That's for that ex. That's for that ex. Y'all don't, I'm telling you, the enemy gets mad because that's for that ex, baby. That's what that's for. I scroll that stuff and I'm like, oh, y'all need to get saved for real. That's why the enemy don't want, listen, that's why the enemy don't want half of y'all saved. For those of you who ain't serving him like you should. That's why he don't want, because he know you'll listen, he know you'll reveal the secrets of the kingdom, of his kingdom. You will blow it out the these people are doing. I can be scrolling and be like, really? You need to let that dude go. You got a whole man over there and you posting up pictures of lingerie for the internet. Talking about, and then females who don't know no better, they like, girl, I just love you. Oh my gosh. You're so... No, baby, she's so tired. Somebody broke her heart. This guy walked out and now she's showing him and probably multiple men what they missed out on. So when she's wearing that lingerie for the ex, yeah, her husband, most of the time the guy don't even know what's happening. All he knows is she posts to social media and my friends are calling me like, man, you got it going on, and he don't even know. Your girl's still attracted to somebody else. Your girl's still sold out to somebody else. She's still broken by somebody else. She's still in love with somebody else. Because that's all brokenness is. She's still in love. She's still under the soul tie with that guy. He doesn't know it. So she come up in there whipping it on him. And she's thinking about, I wish Tyrone could see this. I wish Tyrone could be a fly on the wall up in this room and see what I'm doing to this joker here. I wish Tyrone can hear him squealing like a little baby rat. I wish Tyrone was up and I wish it. It's a soul tie. All right, let's move on. Because I'll get passionate and I'll take y'all places that y'all don't need to go. So I want no parts of that lifestyle anymore. That spirit has really been trying to come back. My exes are calling who are engaged. One lived with a woman. Yes, I declined, but there is still some jealousy toward people who are in relationships. Rather it be from God or not, I'm jealous. I wrote this because I almost wanted to angry text my cousin who was in a relationship that looked successful. She got everything she needed with this guy. Nope. I mean, we're extremely close. If she knows my heart, she would be devastated. And this is why you get free from that. And this is what I love about her. She exposed her own issues. She exposed her own demons because she's saying, I don't want to be bound by this anymore. But she said, I wanted to angry text her because their relationship looks successful. Let's look up the word. Matter of fact, we'll do it from here. We're going to have a little study. All right. Under the picture, I want you to look up the word mirage. Something that appears real or possible, but is not in fact so. It is an optical illusion. When the enemy wants to bind you, he will create an optical illusion. So, a good example of an optical illusion. Y'all, I love y'all. I love y'all. Good example of an optical illusion. We've seen this chick and we've been this chick. Good example. She likes a guy a few feet away. Got a crush on him. She engages. She creates a conversation right here, like with some people. And let's say y'all at a restaurant or what have you. She's sitting at the table talking with these people. It's an optical illusion. It's for him. The person right there, they don't realize she's not laughing at your joke. She's not entertained by what you're saying. Half of what you said, she don't even realize. She didn't even hear you. She caught a few words. Her mind over there. Y'all want some? Her mind over there. So she's over there like, and if you watch her long enough, it's an optical illusion. She's not having a good time. She's not enjoying talking to this guy. It's a show for him. It's to make her look interesting and fun, and to make her look like people want her attention. It's an optical illusion, guys. There is nothing new underneath this sun. What happened in the days when I was a youngin' is still happening today. Y'all still love me? It's an optical illusion. It's a mind game. So when you're looking at somebody and comparing yourself to them, the enemy will give you an optical illusion. That's to keep you in bondage to jealousy. Because the Bible says jealousy is as cruel as the grave. It's the cruelest. It's cruel. I do not like to be around anybody who struggles with jealousy, especially when they turn it toward me. I hate it. That is the one demon. Like, there are a lot of demons I can't stand. Jezebel, I can't stand. Jealousy. Listen, don't be jealous and have a Jezebel. Good God, you got to go. It's unrealistic. What that spirit does is it creates an optical illusion. The enemy will place you in a spot. And half of these broken folks on the internet that are taking pictures, you ever notice happy people do not share too much about their relationships? Unless, some people do it because, maybe they do stuff together that requires them to be shown. But happy people don't typically show their relationships. When you see women doing this right here, I gotta get him in a shot. Hold on. And you got the guy in the background, and he look oblivious to the photo. It's all about making somebody mad, guys. That's what that photo is about. You got to know the science of the mind. That's what that photo is about. Happy people typically don't like to share their life too much. They come to their social media, they'll post up what they're working on, they'll post up what they're doing. Every once in a blue moon, they'll post up the photos of them and their spouse or their significant other. You don't see a whole lot about their significant other because they're stable. They're not trying to get aroused out of you. So the people that you see that are trying to get aroused out of you, surprise, they're not happy. You're jealous of them, but they're not happy. They don't have, just like TikTok. I've been watching TikTok. I downloaded it and I've been just scrolling. And it's a trap. It'll get you caught up. But what is this song that comes on? Where these women, it's like as soon as their husband pull up, like if he's a police officer and he's muscular, and there's this song that comes on, and well, one of them is just my baby daddy. They're bragging about how well their guy looks. It's all a mirage. It's all a mirage. And half of you, because you struggle with jealousy, you will run out there and put yourself in a relationship where you have to constantly perform for people, where you got to constantly put up stuff. Well, I didn't get a good angle of me. Now I got to make sure his head in the photo. Dude back there, he having an after sex nap. He knocked out. And I'm taking a picture of him because I know it's a side chick somewhere. And I want to make her mad to let her know. He's still doing it. And y'all sitting here scrolling it. I don't even know why God don't do that for me. One of the worst things God can do for you is give you what you want. There were times I said, God, you're good. Because I wouldn't make a good guy. I give you what you want. In some cases, God will let you get it. You act crazy enough for it. I give you what you want. You keep on acting crazy over that man. I know about him, but you don't know. I'll let you get him. You want to be jealous? Go ahead. But I tell you, I'd say, hey, sign this paper right here. You ain't gonna divorce him. You ain't gonna come crying to me. You're gonna go through everything you go through with him. You better be glad I'm not your guy. You're gonna go through everything. Turn out to be a narcissistic cheater. You better endure. You listen. You better endure. Because you sat up there and you allowed jealousy to infect your heart, and you were looking at somebody, and then you had the nerves to keep calling, oh, well, you ain't gave me no man. Then you start acting like a victim. You want a man? Okay. She ain't ready for the man of God I got for her. She's not mature enough for him. And she's impatient. So you come along and say, can I send somebody? If she'll take him, I don't care. I love her, but she need a wake-up call. Tired of getting these prayers where she want to pray about a man, but she ain't read a Bible. She don't want to go to church. And what messed up? Next thing you know, in the beginning, new car smell. In the beginning, everything is good. She starts off and she's like, thank you, God. I'm like, don't thank me. Have fun. Fun in the beginning. In the beginning, she's up there taking, now she can compete and compare herself with the other folks on social media. And that's when you see people who move entirely too fast. Stop. Y'all, you know him a month and you already posting him to social media. What the heck is wrong with you? Rejection. You know the dude a month. I can know you 3 months or 6 months and I ain't sharing you on social media. It ain't none of their dang on business. You get shared when you take responsibility. When we engaged or something like that. I'm not. You've been dating the dude a month and you already changed your status. You know why? Because you're comparing yourself to somebody. You've been wanting to do that. Folks have been putting up stuff to make you jealous and you bit the bait. And now you couldn't wait. Smile. And you look thirsty. You look desperate. Ask the brothers on here. That's a turnoff. You know you can be sexy, fine, and all that, but if you're insecure, that turns a guy off. It's a turnoff. It's an absolute turnoff. You sitting up there. Come here. You don't never want to take no picture of me. He just sitting there like, I barely even know you. Come on. And then you taking pictures and posting to social media. That says to him, you desperate and you couldn't get a man and he'd have sucked that bit to bait. And now he feel like a fool. Now he's sitting up there questioning if he a fool, if he should be embarrassed. He don't want to be on your social media. Take your time. You want him to want to be on your social media. I just put myself in timeout because I was going to say something and I ain't going to say it. I'll be nice. You should want him to post you first. You want him to show you off. You want him to pursue you. Not you sitting up here posting him up and you ain't nowhere near on his Facebook profile. You ain't nowhere near in a relationship with, and it's showing your profile. You click on his, it don't show on his. It's not public information. He hiding it. I ain't nobody's secret. I'm not nobody's secret. I was thinking about a song. I'm nobody's secret. That's because I know my value. Right. You gotta want him to post you. He gotta be the one running up talking about, you don't never post me to social media. Okay. Why should I post you to social media? Was this some type of ad or what have you? No. Put a ring on my finger and I'll post you. I'll post you once we marry. may even post you when we get engaged, because once we set the date, not, maybe because you want to celebrate the celebratory congratulations, let everybody know, or what have you. I have my nails done, and hopefully, fingers look a lot better, what have you. I can post that. So I'm going to get ready to end. I'm going to answer some questions. Y'all get ready to put your questions in. I'm going to answer some questions. But I wanted to say this. Jealousy doesn't benefit you. It hurts you. In the end, it does. It hurts you. It sets you up to get in a relationship with the wrong people. It causes a bunch of unnecessary anxiety, and it shapes you into a side chick. That's what it does in the end. It graduates from jealousy to envy. The difference between jealousy and envy is this. When it comes to jealousy is, I want what you have. Envy is, I want to be who you are. Once it graduates to envy, you're next door to, you're akin to murder. You're akin to murder. Because at that point there, you can't be me without me. It's hard for us to occupy the same personality. And so you will start trying to take over just about everything. And then from that point on, now you want me dead. You can watch a bunch of lifetime movies of women killing their friends. And that's because they graduated from jealousy, and then it went to envy, and then they decided that, hey, you look better dead. You look better dead. So I'm going to start getting into some questions, guys. But I wanted to say this. I know we dealt with jealousy, not necessarily the way that I wanted to deal with it, but jealousy and the side chick. I'll rename this probably. So some side chicks can come in and get some revelation, and they can come to understand, oh, that's why I keep on scrolling his wife's social media. You scroll his wife's social media because you're more attracted to her than you are to him. The enemy has you after her. The enemy has you destroying their marriage. That's it. And that's all. That's all the enemy wants to do is turn his heart. And let me expose another form of adultery for you guys, because there's somebody on here that needs to hear this. Another form of adultery that's common is sometimes a woman may not be having sex with a guy, but she may start talking to him and calling herself a friend and acting like she's helping him. But what she's doing is turning his heart away from his wife. It's all adultery, guys. Why is this thing just still sending me text messages from earlier? This is weird. But she's just turning his heart from his wife. It's really easy to do. A lot of women involve themselves in it, and that's one of the reasons. And I dare to say this because the man of God probably gonna come back and look at this video someday. But that's the reason why I don't believe this whole, like my husband, especially talking to a single woman. Maybe if she's in a relationship or, yeah, but a lot of times, because a lot of times some females, and they don't necessarily have to want your man. Let me tell you something about side chicks. A lot of times they don't necessarily want your man. Sometimes they just want the attention, and they will destroy your marriage just for attention. Most of the times when I used to hang around women like that, and when I was that type of person, it was all about attention. They will destroy your relationship just for the attention. It's all about winning. It's all about winning, and they will go years playing tug of war with a guy that they don't want, and they will have a baby just because they're competing. They'll go far. They'll even marry the guy out of competition. I've said this to, if a woman marries a guy because she's competing with another female, let's say, for example, your husband left you for another woman. If your husband left you for another woman, the worst revenge you can get on them, and I don't know if I should share this, but the worst revenge you can get on them is to forgive them wholeheartedly. Not fake forgive. Not that I forgive you. I'm taking pictures, living my best life. Living my best life, half of those hashtags about jealousy. It's about making somebody bad. But it's not about, you fake forgiving. If you truly forgive and you take your heart and your mind off the side chick and you start treating her like a human being and you're really nice to her, and y'all got kids, you got kids with your husband, and you are being nice, you pray over your kids, you let your kids go over, if they're old enough, and you're being really nice, you'll destroy their marriage just like that. You'll destroy their relationship. I just gave. I'm giving. Listen, I'm preaching better than y'all are just even saying amen, giving a what have you. You will destroy their relationship by you forgiving her. She admires you. She envies you. She wants to be you. When she trades places with you when you're hurt and angry, you're now in the role that she used to be in. So she can relate to that role. You never fit into a role that she can relate to. You come out of that role. That means I'm a side chick destroyer, guys. What I would do in a situation like that is get close to the guy, go snatch my waist and travel the world, build a company, all that. I'm gonna get my healing, I get counseling, I get therapy, I get all that. You know why? Because I know she watching me. I know she watching me because her issue is jealousy. She's watching me. Even though she got him, she's still watching me. She's still looking at me. She's still looking at me. She'll block me on social media and then turn around and create a fake profile. Y'all don't want me to tell on y'all. Create a fake. Some of y'all got fake profiles now. Create a fake profile and be monitoring my page under Rumpelstiltskin. What the heck is Rumpelstiltskin? Come on, hey, come on. Which one of y'all monitoring spirits is this? She will monitor my life. If I got pictures and I didn't forgave her, and I go out here, you know what? I'm gonna do the best I can with my life. I'm gonna do stuff that I couldn't do when I was with him, stuff I was scared to do. Listen, I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna travel the world, I'm gonna go learn a new language. I ain't gonna try to run into no relationship. I'm gonna run, I'm gonna snatch his waist, I'm gonna run some track, I'm gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna get out. Listen, what's gonna happen is she gonna start relating that getting away from him means success. Somebody's side chick is mad at me. But I love you. She's going to relate me getting away from him because now she got him full time. And chances are he cheating on her. And it ain't all it was cranked up to be. But she still got envy for me. And now I'm up there. I got a picture of me running a marathon and doing all that. You know what? Now she want to run a marathon. Now she want to get out the relationship. But if I sit there and be mad at him and you can't see your kids and doing all that, I'm helping her to stay in that relationship. I'm helping her to feel like she won because it's all about winning. That's all it was about the whole time. It was all about winning. And so I'm staying in that competition with her. And so she's sitting up there feeling good. And so every time you look around, she's posting pictures of her and my ex. And now she up there doing all kinds of stuff to get my attention. The devil is a lie. She won't get none of my attention. I won't check her social media. I'll forgive her. I'm gonna move the heck on. That's how you unplug the side chick. That's how you take away her power. You unplug the side chick by taking your attention away from her. She want him, the unbeliever wanted to depart, let him have her. And then you move on. Because her interest ain't him. Her interest ain't him, it's you. No, I won't call him sorry. Sometimes it's just witchcraft. Her interest is not him. Her interest is you. You know, I haven't been in a relationship in 6 years. Like for real, seriously. Haven't been like in nobody's relationship for 6 years. But I know I still got people that monitor. I forgave them. I moved the heck on. I ain't gonna monitor them. I don't even remember their names, half of them. You know why? Because they don't come here. I don't deal with jealousy. I already know what I left behind. What helps me is knowing what I'm approaching, not what I left behind. When I think about, I'm trying not to do the huckabuck up in here. When I think about the demon slaying man of God that God sent in my way, any and everything in my past is completely irrelevant. It's beneficial for teaching. This is about it. It's beneficial for teaching. When I think about the man of God that comes and hits me heavy with some revelation, when I think about the man of God, and y'all over here jealous over folks who having babies outside of marriage because they're not secure enough to wait on God. They're not secure enough to let God do it. And you over here looking at that and envying that and wanting that and allowing the enemy to turn you into a side chick so that you can dismantle all of that. You're better than that. You're better than that. If you only knew your worth, if you only knew your value, the man of God. If you only knew your value. I think I saw a question. I've been divorced since 2013. Okay. I thought I saw a question, guys. Let me get back up here. All right. Okay. I'll get here. All right. I'm going to start right here. And because I can't scroll all the way up, guys, I will. Let me see if it looks like some. Okay. I'll start here. How about you just not having a social media is not a profit business. It serves no purpose in a relationship. Some people just like to have it to communicate, to see, talk to other family members and stuff like that. So I don't see anything wrong with it as long as you're mature enough for it. I think if you're immature and it bothers you emotionally, I don't think you should have one. Or you should limit you have to discipline yourself and limit your time on there. Should a wife have to help pay for her husband's child support payment? No, 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 no. Do you believe in prenups? No. So in some states, I think they're changing it a little bit, but in a lot of states, you are automatically on the line for your husband's child support. So they go by the total household income as opposed to just his income. And in cases like that, I probably don't want to marry that guy unless his children are like 21, 22. Yeah, because that's a lot. But no, I don't want to pay my husband's child support. Like I would love my husband's children like they're my own, and giving them money and buying them stuff is one thing. But just the thought of my income being garnished by their mother. I mean, and my money coming out, yeah, that would bother me. Nah, and prenups, no. Prenups are pretty much a setup for a divorce. It's your way of saying, I know we ain't gonna work. Chances are we ain't gonna work, and so I want to protect my assets. If a man wants to protect his assets, for me, his assets are more important than I am, and I don't want him. All the same, I don't know where I'll be financially by the time this man of God come find me. But if I'm where I want to be, and he's not financially stable, if he's not up there, the first thing that I have to do is pray. Number 1, 2, and I have to look at his vision. I have to look at what he's doing. If he's just working at McDonald's or he working at Target and he ain't trying to do nothing with his life, that's not a person I'm going to put my life in, because then it's unstable to the point where I become the breadwinner and he is not, and it's going to start feeling weird. Now that's just a personal preference. It'll start getting really weird, and I don't know what he'll do at a certain income level. Everybody needs to be tested at an income level. That's what God does. He gradually takes you up. God doesn't do like what we want in gambling. People will go out there and gamble and be trying to win $135 million lottery, not knowing that that's absolutely dangerous. That's like a recipe for death and craziness. But the enemy will try to make you feel like, you need to, counter rush everything. The enemy will make you feel like you need to rush everything. So a guy comes to me and let's just say he's making, he's not making that much money. I'm making more money than him. If he's a visionary and he loves God and I run his by, I get, my leadership and they're like, hey, yeah, you should go for him. I can probably consider, but if it's a person that's not driven and he's kind of stuck at a certain income and he's not trying to do anything, I don't know what he'll do at, a certain amount of money. And so a lot of times some guys, the reason that God hasn't promoted them financially is because they can't handle it. Same thing with some females. The amount of money that you make is the amount of money that you can handle. Some people, if God was to give them a whole lot of money, just like with God, he's delivering me from bad eating habits. I know it because, but there was a time where he knew he couldn't just really give me, because I would probably be out there like every day talking about me a steak and potatoes with cheese on it. Give me some of them rolls over there. Give me this and give me that or what have you. He knew that, so he's like, yeah, we're gonna limit her income to this or what have you. And so as you go through deliverance, your income starts to open up or what have you. I need to know he's tested with where we're going, or he's mature enough to handle where we're going. Because if he's not, there are certain women that come after you when you make $50,000, 60,000, 75,000 that didn't come after you when you made 20,000. And so if he struggled at $20,000, he's gonna deal with some major seductress at 35,000, 45, 50,000. He'll deal with some major seductress. He'll deal with people. He'll deal with women who look like plastic. And when I say plastic, I'm not talking about the ones who look like unattractive plastic. There's some, after so long, they start having this mental illness, and the enemy have them cutting themselves up where they become so delusional they start looking like plastic. I'm talking about women who are naturally beautiful or what have you, and they have a spirit of adultery and stuff like that. The enemy will throw them, and these are usually women that he couldn't get. These are women that he couldn't get. I can't see who sowed the seed, but thank you. I'll see it in a minute. But these are usually women that didn't give him any attention, and when he starts getting that attention, it's easy for him to fall into that if he's never been in that income bracket before. So God allows us to be tested at each level so that we can know what comes after us at each level, what type of spirit, how that spirit dresses itself, what type of, things that are going to happen at a certain level or what have you. So, as far as that question, prenups, no, I don't believe in prenups. And if I felt like I was with a guy and I felt like I needed a prenup to protect myself financially, I probably don't need to marry him. Can I make preferences for my future man of God? Is that limiting God? No, it can limit him because his ways are above our ways and his thoughts are above our thoughts. So what he has for you is way better than what you have for yourself. Most of the time, our preferences have everything to do with our voids. It has nothing to do with what's better. It's just us not trusting God to pick, because we typically choose based on where we are today, but God chooses based on where he's taking you. So he needs to be able to fit me in my future, not necessarily just for my today. There are some people that you can meet today and you'll be like, oh, hallelujah, glory to his name, and speak in tongues, and oh, thank you, God, or what have you, but he doesn't fit your tomorrow. And so you can end up in a relationship with him excited and happy and all that, but he doesn't fit your tomorrow. And so God will send somebody based on your tomorrow. So for me, I would prefer. Now, there are some specifications that I do. Some things I do say, like, God, I want him to be saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Spirit. Lord, I would love him to be a demon. So, that's not mandatory, but that's something that I would love. He would eventually get into it, being married to me. I want him to be a leader. I want him to love you with his whole heart. I want him to lead in the household. I want to have a big house. There are certain things that I won't say they're non-negotiable. There are certain things that I prefer. So, but I don't make those mandated. I just express it. But yeah, you can give criteria to God, but just remember that criteria is a seasonal desire that may be coming out of a void. As you grow, that desire probably changed, and now he is stuck being what you once wanted, and now you're in another region of thought, and you no longer want that. So just think about that. Should a wife have to help? Oh, I just read that. How do you properly deal with rejection? I have a book that's coming out called The Book of Boundaries. I'm thinking about calling the second part The Woman's Book of Boundaries. But in the second part, I deal with this topic about rejection, and I give an understanding in here, and I'll just give you guys a snippet of that. A lot of times, the reason, and we've heard rejection is protection, and it's completely true. But in this particular book, I help you to understand why it's protection. A lot of times when we deal with rejection, let's say from, like, for me, if it's women who don't necessarily invite me into their circle or what have you, or don't want me in their circle and act really weird, and I'm good at reading body language and stuff like that. So if I come up to females and they're standing around talking, and I say, "Hey, what y'all doing?" And I start talking to them, and they look over their shoulder, and they don't turn their body around as a welcoming, but they still kind of stay, face forward. That tells me that they're saying you're not welcome. And even though they're smiling, like, "What you doing, Tiffany? You ain't being silly." That's body language. That body language says you're rejected. Um, I'm not gonna. I mean, anybody can feel frustrated in the beginning and feel like, well, you Negroes don't want to be around me at some point. Watch, and that's vengeful thinking. But typically, what I do is I come to understand, first and foremost, chances are they're immature and they're shallow. And what shallow means is to lack substance. A lot of relationships, friendships, and stuff like that, they're built on shallowness. They're built on empty thinking. Okay, so you have some women that they only want to be around women who have snatch weights because they got a snatch waist or what have you. And so some people are very shallow in their thinking, and they form cliques in that. The reason God doesn't allow you to fit into that is because He's trying to take you somewhere, and those people will end up becoming crabs in a bucket for you. You would end up feeling loyal to them and feeling like you don't want to necessarily disappoint them. So you would spend all of your time trying to, and in every clique, and I deal with this in the not in microscribology, but in the book of boundaries. In every clique, there's a leader. Every clique has a head. Every clique has a leader. If you're trying to get into the clique, 9 times out of 10, it already has a leader, which you have to go under the leader. And when the leader comes, what the leader does is they're going to decide what roles are open for you. What roles they have open in the clique or what have you. A person who decides that you're not fitting for their clique will oftentimes put you in a role of where you're kind of a servant. So, okay, you ever seen a clique where it's like four girls maybe, and three of them are drop dead gorgeous. They're 10, and they actually, they form their friendships based on their beauty. That's what they did. The girl knew she was a 10, and she was shallow in her thinking. She's young, she's immature, so she goes and gets a friend who's a 10. So they can have conversations where they can talk about how fine they are. And then they get another friend who's a 10. And then the next thing you know, you see them hanging, and there's a girl who's a 2 there. The girl who's a 2, chances are, if she's not related, she's security. Y'all gonna love the book of boundaries. If she's not related, she's security. God don't want you doing that. That means that they know she's going to feel grateful for being invited in, considering that she doesn't necessarily fit into the mold of what they're building. And so when she comes in, she has to be the aggressor to protect them. And so for her, they'll invite her in typically when they've been threatened by somebody. They'll invite her in typically when they've been threatened by somebody, or they're feeling some type of way about somebody. And then they'll come to her and they'll be like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fighter." And, she was talking about rubbing my hair in some dog feces. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, I am not a fighter. And the person who's a 2, she's like, "Who? Girl, please. She ain't gonna touch you. She ain't gonna, I will whoop the crap out of her." That's why I love you. You're so cute with that. I'm so sorry. What was your name again? And they'll invite her in. She's security. When God wants to promote her, she won't, because she's too grateful for that position. She's in a low position and she doesn't know it. They're not friends with her. She's serving a role. Sometimes they'll invite you in because you're a comedian. You decide the road show, the show on the road or something. I was trying to think of, but you're the circus act. And because you're funny and you're silly, I want you around because you act crazy, or you're the talk of the town. You're the party of the show of the party. What is that term? But anyhow, you always the life of the party. The life of the party. You're always the life of the party. So I'm getting sleepy. You can tell when I start getting sleepy because I get silly. But you're the life of the party. And so they invite you around because you're bold and you do crazy stuff. So you got to know your role. And a lot of times when you're trying to fit in, God always knows what the person is going to put you in, what role they're going to give you, because they've already decided in their mind, because they're shallow, they're stuck in that region of thought. But because they're shallow, God already knows that if they were to allow you in, they're going to put you into a servant role. And that's it. And you won't go and do what he wants you to do. So that's the way you deal with rejection, is by understanding why God allowed you to be rejected. And if it's rejection from a man, it's the same thing. The guy's going to place you in a role. 9 times out of 10, it's an ex-girlfriend seat. Something that, some guys, when they're broken, what they do is they will form you into every female that's ever hurt them. They will form you into every female that's ever hurt them. So it's just all about getting understanding. That's all. Okay. That's really sick, and it's the reason why I'm going to be single or as a born again Christian, because I can't put up with a woman doing that with my husband. Yeah, and you don't have to stay single. Just wait on the right one. Just wait on the right one. He left me for someone, and baby's father doesn't see his baby anymore or pay his child support payments. Doesn't reach out to me. What should I do? Leave him alone. He wants me to contact him. No, let him go. Let him go. You should. The Bible says, if the unbeliever want to depart, let him depart. You should never pursue somebody who's not pursuing anything with you. Let him go. Heal, forgive him, and be the best parent that you can be to your children. And just don't return to that vomit. That means don't make that mistake again. With another guy. And the enemy will send you to the same demon and a different guy, unless you change your mind and he allow you. You allow God to grow you and mature you. But I wouldn't push him to see his children. One thing I often tell, I've said this to friends of mine who have children. You never force a man to see his children when he doesn't want to see them. You just sit there and tell the children, hey, when they start asking questions, you'll see him soon. Your daddy loves you. He's just, growing. God, we're going to pray for him. And you just say nice things that way. They don't get broken in the process. Yeah, I would just let him go. I would let him go, and I would be the best mother that I could be to my children. I would heal. And then by doing that, God will send the right person. If you do it God's way, he'll send the right person who will take them on as his child. And you see a lot of children now, a lot of women who've grown up, and they matured, and they didn't miss for anything. They didn't lack for anything, because God sent somebody into their life who was an amazing stepfather to them. So yeah, I would let him go. Why do guys go ghost even in the middle of an engagement? Well, it's because you got with the wrong person. The right guy doesn't do that. When you get in a relationship with somebody, that if you rush the relationship, for example, if you rush it through sex, and if their head doesn't have a time to catch up with their heart, by the time their head catches up, they're out. Because they realize, hey, things move too fast or what have you. So it's not that guys go ghost, it's just the wrong men go ghost, which means that you're going after the wrong guys. But if you do it God's way, and you just really, really, I'm talking about abstinent, you be accountable with the relationship, don't open yourself up too much too fast, the relationship will go well. You'll chase off the wrong ones. Now, James 4:7, submit yourself to God and resist the devil, and he will flee from you. You're supposed to be chasing off the wrong guy. Now, it's not intentional. I chase off the wrong guy by just telling the truth. By me being saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Spirit, not willing to give in to sin. I'm not going to cross no boundaries with you. You ain't crossing my boundaries. That's it. He going to get up and run away from me. And I love it. I love it. So in that case, they're going to go ghost because I'm serving God. But other than that, yeah. No, side chicks never trust a guy. They can't. They can't. All right, I'm scrolling down to get to y'all questions. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy. No, I've been divorced since 2013. Uh, okay, now I skip down. I see the cash apps. I'm gonna. Okay. Wow, I didn't know I was up. Wait, where am I going? What if, apart from godly and leadership aspect in the man, you also care about looks only like 9 or 10, and otherwise you are repulsed? It looks like godly, intelligent guys are older. I keep educating men. I wait. I gotta read that again. What if, apart from godly and leadership aspect in a man, you also care about looks only like 9 or 10, and otherwise you are repulsed? Then that means you're not mature yet. It's okay to be. I mean, we are all natural. We all have a level of carnality, and we are maturing. All of us are at a certain level of maturity. But when a guy has to be a 9 or 10, chances are it's because of rejection, and it's because you want to show him off to people from your past, people in your present, and you want to look good, what have you. Most of the time, what we consider to be the attractive is not a fact; it's more so a filter. It's the way we filter things through what other people told us were cute. So the world said, or our community or our family says, fair-skinned men with curly hair and green eyes are cute, and that's what we see as cute. And if that's what we're taught, when we see a guy who doesn't necessarily have those features, we'll be like, ugh, what have you. And so his beauty isn't a fact; it's more so a preference. So yeah, I would just say, don't get into a relationship, just grow. And as you grow, you'll find yourself, and it's not to say that you got to get with somebody you're not attracted to. Please don't nobody mishear me. Please don't nobody mishear me. Not saying that, because you're going to want to be attracted to your guy. But when God matures you, he changes your definition of attractive. To be honest with you, he changed I'm no longer what I used to see as attractive, what the world sees as attractive. I'm disgusted by it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I can be scrolling at social media and I see guys trying to be sexy, and I'm like, ugh. My nose turns up. I just be like, ugh, I don't know what these females see up in that. I don't know what's supposed to be cute about that, or what have you. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I'm not turned on by that. I'm not interested in that. Nevertheless, um, I know that, it's what the world told them, that they were cute. That the world told them that they were sexy. You look at the comments, and women are leaving all types of comments. Oh my gosh, sexy and all that. And I'm like, yeah, yo, sexy guys, gay is all outdoors. Are you still going to teach when you get married? Yes, yes. Prayerfully, hopefully, I would love to tag team with my husband. I pray that he's wise, and I would love that. We are valuable and made in the image of God. Amen. The enemy also knows how to present the side chick as a first place position. Yep. What would you consider some good dating ideas that will honor God and not cause temptation? Great question. Don't allow him to come to your house. You don't go to his house. You're accountable with your pastor. You let him know that you're abstinent, and you make sure that he's abstinent, not because he wants to be with you, but because it's his him giving that gift to God. If he doesn't give that gift to God while courting you, he's not going to give that gift to God while married to you. He definitely not going to give it to you as well. He's not going to be sound with his sex. He's not going to be faithful because he's not faithful to God. Don't bring him to your house. Don't go to his house. Don't go anywhere along with him. If you happen to bring him to your house for any reason, it's usually for a party. Make sure you have people over your house who are passionately abstinent, who are straight stone cold cock blockers, who won't allow you to do anything, that they love the Lord and they hold you accountable. You know, I go as far as no kissing before marriage. No sense in me heating up the oven if we're not gonna put anything in it. But I go as far as no kissing before marriage. Be accountable with your relationship. Be intentional. Be logical, not emotional. Don't listen to a whole lot of, while y'all talking on the phone, keep sweating, all that in the background. All of that is designed to kind of weave the soul tie, but instead talk logical. Ask questions. Don't assume that the relationship is supposed to be y'all gonna be together just because you like him physically. Get to know him mentally and spiritually to see if he's a good fit for what you want. If he's not saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Spirit, that's a no from God. If he is immature but you're mature, you're going to end up having a Jezebel Ahab type relationship. It's better to not go for that. Pay attention to his friends. Look at how he treats his children, if he has children. And then, just pay attention to how he treats his mother and all that. Oh, and he said good dating ideas: going to the park, going to the beach, picnics in the park, picnic in the beach, potentially going hiking, of course, in the daytime, going out to a movie, going anywhere nature, of course, going out to eat, trying out different restaurants, challenging each other. I would even dare to say when you get to a certain level of relationship, going looking at houses, not to buy, but, just to get an idea of what, to kind of fish out each other's person. Well, no, I'll take that back. That would have to be when we start getting engaged and stuff like that. But just going places together, but in public places, not staying the night or what have you. Avoid the appearance of evil and actually the actual evil itself. And create things together. Thank you, Sister Kenyatta. I'll get down and say thank you to the rest of y'all as I see the cash apps. Not the cash apps, but I was told that I'm being selfish because I said I'm not helping pay child support. Oh, no, that ain't being selfish. I don't want to pay for you humping somebody else. I mean, I get that was before me, but I ain't trying to, I'm sorry. For me, it's like a volunteer thing. Like, my husband have kids. I'm going to love his kids. That's just natural for me. And I would love to, just throw money on them and bless them and, be like, hey, let's go shopping. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. And I say that because I'm older, so I expect my husband's kids to be older. But as far as me being forced to pay child support, that's a no. No for me. All right. What if you had a friend upon a time, and she had been married for 20 years miserably, and you're married to a beautiful man of God and tried to use ministry to sabotage your healthy marriage? She's not a friend. I would push her out. I would get away from her. There's jealousy in her life or what have you. A lot of times when people are jealous, you got to be careful. Like, whenever you have something that other people want. I've had jealous friends before, and God delivered me from it. Once a person starts manifesting jealousy, God's going to deliver you. That's almost an automatic. I believe that once a person starts operating in jealousy, God's going to separate you from that person. But if I'm dealing with a person who and God has this, I will remove myself from that person. And so, if she tried to use ministry to sabotage it, she would lose access to my marriage. Like, she would lose access to me and access to my marriage, because chances are it's jealousy, and it's her wanting to relate to you. A lot of times when people can't relate to you, they'll try to make it where they want you to be miserable so y'all can have something to talk about. So it's difficult for her to have a conversation with you about what she's going through when you're always like, another ring, what have you. Thank you, Sister Tracy J and Sister Sunshine Oshner. God bless y'all. I would like to go through deliverance with my pastor, but I'm afraid to ask because I don't want to do it in front of everybody. How should I go about this? Ask him at church, arrange a meeting with him or something like that. But don't limit it to your pastor, because one of the things that people do, like congregants, a lot of times they'll say, I want my pastor to do the deliverance, but I don't want nobody else. But he's trained and imparted into other people to do deliverances, and it would make it completely like he might as well do it by himself, and it wears a person out. From just so you know, I'm in ministry of deliverance, and it wears us out. And the thing about it is, you don't want to wear your pastor out. He's already having to do so much. And so that's the reason why he has a ministry team. So the thing about it is you have to get past the fear. Part of needing deliverance is that fear. So when you get past that, fear usually keeps people from going through deliverance. Do you know that you can go to him and say, hey, I want you to take me through deliverance? And you don't get it because you dishonored him. You don't get it because you dishonored him. God will never allow you to receive from a person you dishonor, because in that moment you were thinking about, oh, I don't want nobody else to know my secret. I don't want nobody to fear. And you weren't considering the fact that maybe he needs a break, mentally, spiritually. You don't know what's going on in his life. So it's better to talk to somebody at the church that does deliverance and say, hey, I would like to get some prayer, what have you. But if nobody else is there, then you can reach out to him and say, hey, I need to set up a deliverance or what have you. How can we arrange that? And be open to his suggestion. If he says, hey, come to the altar Sunday, assuming the church is back open, come to the altar Sunday and one of the people will pray for you, then honor that. You'll go through deliverance as long as you honor it. A lot of times people think that, no, the only person that's going to take me through deliverance is my pastor, because these people in here are not powerful enough. And that's dishonor within itself. And what ends up happening is they don't go through deliverance because they think like that. But the people that come up there and they just like, okay, I had a lady come in, and thankfully she was honorable. She was really honorable. She came in, she followed me on social media, and she came to the church. One day I was serving, and this was a couple of years ago when I used to, have to serve at the front, stand up there near the altar. It was after church. She walked up to me, and I'm standing up there. I'm on post. I'm not praying for people. I'm just standing there, and she walked up to me, and she was like, hey, and she's stepping over bodies. People get, pray for her. And she's like, could you pray for me? She's like, I want you to pray for me. And I was like, I'm on post. I said, these people here. She's like, yeah, I don't know that. I said, no, they good. They solid. They, God, God's in them or what have you. She said, okay. And so she went ahead and she allowed another lady to pray for her. I remember who prayed for her. She prayed for her. Next thing you know, I saw her going out like a light. I was over there like, told you. They good. They straight. So just trust that God knows what you need. Don't look at the human. Look at the God in the human. And God will give you what you need as long as you honor it. I'm going to say this and I'm going to move on to the next one. You can get more deliverance from a servant that you have honored than a pastor you've dishonored. The servant can be a person that casts out low-level demons, but you can get more deliverance because of honor. Deliverance, when you show honor toward the person, you get more deliverance because of that honor. So I would tell you to just, reach out to the ministry team. Don't just single out the pastor. Don't just single out the pastor. Oh yeah, I've never cared too much for cliques. When I was in a clique, I violated the rules, and it's funny. As I was writing this book, I was talking about cliques in the book, and all of a sudden I realized I violated the rules of that clique, and this is like 20-something years ago. As I'm writing, I was talking about the heads of a clique. There's a head in the clique, and you can't invite people into a clique. And I thought about that. I was like, that's why they used to get mad at me. It was funny. I had one of those moments. I was like, 20 years later, that's why they would joke that I kept inviting strays. They would say stuff like that. And I was like, what are y'all talking about? These people are cool. What have you. They were like, you always bringing strays in. But as I'm writing the book, it hits me. The head of a clique is the one that usually invites people into the clique. Everybody else makes suggestions. Sorry, guys. Dust on my camera. But everybody else makes suggestions. You should check such and such. I didn't do that. I ain't had no home training. I was just bringing folks up, talking about hey, I invited such and such to come out with us. And they like, who? And I'm like, they're like, okay. She always invited strays. I'm like, y'all gotta stop acting like that. So, do you believe in once saved, always saved, and the pre-rapture before the tribulation? There's so many teachers out there. I'm still newly saved. I don't want to teach on that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. Now, so this is what I believe. And I'll probably get in trouble. Thank you for asking that question. So if I get in trouble because of you, yeah, this is what I believe. Jesus said, matter of fact, I'm going to pull a scripture up. Revelation 3:16. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot or cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. Let me go to the King James. I'm reading. Okay. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold or hot, I will spew you out of my mouth. That is a representation of denunciation. So I don't believe that you get saved. Yeah, I'll say it like this. Partially. What I believe is if you're truly saved, you're saved. You're secure. But I also believe a lot of Christians or people who profess Christianity aren't saved. And the reason for that is because they didn't study to show themselves approved. They're not interested in God. They're not interested in dying to themselves or maturing. They do the works of the devil. They come against the church. As a matter of fact, you can go to social media right now and you will see them coming against pastors. They attack pastors. They're not saved. They attack the church like crazy. They look like they're saved. They act like they're saved, but they're not really saved. So I believe that there are people out there who get saved, or they not saved, but they do the things that we do to get saved. They do those things because they were taught that, if you don't want to go to hell. And so they did those things so they wouldn't have to go to hell. But in all truth, they're not necessarily saved. They're not really saved because they don't necessarily believe in God. Because God said, how could you say that you love me, but you hate your brother? He said, anybody that says that, they are a liar. They are a liar, and the love of God is not in them. So God's not in them. God is not with them, because these people say, I love God, but then they look at the pastor, or they look at their brother, and they like, these fake pastors out here, and they attack the church. The church is the bride of Christ. Nobody who loves God would attack the church. We all understand, and it, of course, is a maturity thing in a lot of cases, but we all understand that the church is still maturing. And our leaders, all of them on a spectrum, they're on a certain level of maturity. They're going to lack knowledge in a lot of areas. They're going to have their hang-ups in some areas and what have you. And if you are fortunate or unfortunate enough to see a hang-up, it's not for you to say, oh my gosh, it's for you to sit there and cover and pray for your pastor. But people who are immature, they expect pastors to be perfect, not understanding the story of David. David was a whole mess and a half, and God said he was a man after his own heart. David went up there, got with Bathsheba while Bathsheba was married, was sleeping with her while her husband was off at war, got the woman pregnant, and then tried to get her to lie, tried to get her to sleep with her husband so that she can act like she was pregnant by him. But when the man didn't do it, instead he came, slept outside, trying to protect the king or what have you. David turned around, set that man at the front of a war to get killed, so that he would his secret wouldn't come out. Then he turned around and married the woman, and he lost the child and all that. God allowed him to keep that woman, but he went through hell, and he had some perverted kids that came out of that. But God still referred to him as a man after his own heart. So it is to say that when you look in the Bible, you would never see a perfect leader, including Abraham. I can look at Abraham and Sarah's story and just shake my head like, man, why you let that woman treat Hagar like that? I can look at this like, she sent Hagar into that room. She set this whole thing up because of her doubt. And then now, Hagar finds herself, so you can look at every leader in the Bible and you will see their imperfection. And that's the reason why God only allows certain people to get around leaders, because, some of you're trying to so quick, like you want to be around your leader, but you couldn't handle it because you have this view where you think that they're perfect. And then if you see that they're not perfect, you will turn into one of these people on social media that attacks pastors. You be like, these fake pastors out here, and it's like, they're not fake. They're struggling, and they're all maturing, but they're still anointed. They're still dying to themselves, just like you're dying to yourself. The difference between them and you is that God chose them to pastor that church, and God is developing them as He leads them. And you just follow them as they follow Christ, and you will, come along on that journey. But a lot of times people would expect their pastors to be perfect. So yeah, I had to come back to the question. So do you believe in once saved, always saved? Yeah, if you're really saved, if you're truly saved. But at the same time, I can't say, because God said, if you are lukewarm, I will spit you out of my mouth. That's denunciation. I would denounce you. If you are lukewarm, meaning you don't choose a system, you keep trying to go between two systems. You want to come over here to the world, then you want to be in the church. You don't know which one you want to be. And so He said that if you're ashamed to own me before man, and He's not talking to unbelievers, He's talking to believers, I will be ashamed to own you before my Father, which is in heaven. So yeah, there's your answer right there. Take from that. And let's see, you said, do you believe in once saved, always saved, and the pre-rapture before the tribulation? Yeah, I believe that once we die, we are in the presence of God. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And that's that. To be absent from the body, to be present with the Lord. And then, of course, we're going to have the rapture or what have you. I don't want to go too deep in that, because that's a whole eschatology teaching, and I can get myself in some trouble. So we'll deal with that some other day. Worst thing, God let you marry a man. Oh yeah, I've been there. God can sit up there and try to get you to stop, and you don't listen, and He say, okay, you have I'm gonna sentence you to 5 years. All right, I gotta come back up here. All right, let's end the questions. I'm gonna read what we have, but let's end the questions. Let's end the questions, because if we do some more, we'll be here all night, and I don't want that. Okay, here I was. Do you believe God will call you to serve under someone who has that type of spirit, jealous, narcissistic? Heck no. No. Narcissism is the Jezebel spirit, and jealousy is cruel as the grave. So no. Now, David had to serve under Saul. And so it can happen. Somebody can turn, their hearts can turn, but yeah, I don't believe God's going to set you up like that. I mean, and I can't say that because He's God, His ways are above our ways. But if He wants to develop you, He can do that. I mean, some of us came from homes where our parents were absolutely narcissistic and jealous, and they took us through hell and high water. But it was to develop us. It was to train our hands for warfare, what have you. But no, I don't believe God's just going to necessarily just throw you under a witch, because that's what you're describing. Put you in a witchcraft place like that, unless He just decides He wants to use you like that. But no, I don't believe He'll throw you in that. Thank you. What do you do when you are in a relationship with a narcissist? Get out of it. It's a short answer. Get out of it. Change your phone number. The easiest way to end a relationship with a narcissist, and I hope you're not married to him, is to stop giving them the narcissistic supply. Is to stop. Like, I'm not going to worship him. I'm not gonna answer the phone all the time. And I said this. I've shared this with people. I said I've had friends who I knew had the Jezebel spirit, narcissistic, and I don't mind. Like, I can be friends with somebody and I know they're bound, because I love people. And at the end of the day, I separate the spirit from the person. We'll get to that spirit at some point. But I can have a friend that I know has, for example, the Jezebel spirit. I'll talk to her, but I won't deal with her demon. So, for example, people have the Jezebel spirit. They have a bad habit of calling, and when they don't get an answer, they call again. And when they don't get an answer, they call again. And when they don't get an answer, they call again. And then when you answer, why you ain't answer your phone? I will send you the voicemail just because you like that. I provoke the crap out of your demon because I'm not gonna give in to that. If I'm busy, I'm busy. If I'm not gonna be tripping and trying to get to the phone because I see you calling. As a matter of fact, I see you call and you call right back. I'm just gonna be like, and if you manifest on the phone, I'm gonna talk to you about it. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't answer your call. I don't have time for that. Sis, you gotta learn, because I've had friends like that and I've had these conversations. You have to learn. If I don't answer my phone, I could be asleep. I could be in the bathroom. Half of the time, my ringer is off. I'm not going to be trying to calm you down or explain myself just because I didn't answer the phone. And if sometimes I'm just busy, I don't feel like answering. So I can sit up there and be like, look at the phone and think, I really don't feel like it because maybe I'm writing. Maybe I'm doing something. I'm not going to feel the burden or feel like, oh my gosh, she's going to get mad at me. I'm not going to feel the burden to answer. So when it comes to a narcissist, one of the things, I starve their narcissism. I don't feed into it. And if they start being manipulative, I get off the phone. I'll say, I gotta go. And they'll get away from me. But I would end that relationship. If you're not married to them, I would end that relationship. Honestly. I would end it. And sometimes with a narcissist, you have to make them feel like they ended it. Sometimes with narcissistic people, you have to make them feel like they ended. I'm sleepy, but you have to make them feel like they ended it. I remember, and I know this is just it, when I was in the world, I had broken it off. I had broken up with a guy, and he started stalking me. He was acting really crazy, didn't want to let go. And I realized, and it was a knowledge that but I knew that, okay, the way I'm gonna have to get rid of him is make him feel like he broke up with me. I don't know how I knew that, but I just knew I need to make him feel like he broke up with me. I need to let him feel like he's in control, because he was crying. He had his mama call my mama. He was acting cray. He was acting straight cray. And so what I did was, he's like, I went ahead and took one of his calls, and he was like, I really just want to talk to you, what have you. And I said, okay. And it was dumb. I should have done this, but I did go to his house and I sat down and I let him talk. And he was like, you did this, that, and other, and all that. And he was like, but I want us to be together. And I said, okay. And I knew I didn't want us to be together. And I was like, okay, but I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to do that. And he was like, I can't be with you if you don't do that. I was like, well, I don't feel like being tied down like that. I said, you've lived your life. And he was a little older than me. I was like, you lived your life. And I feel like you said you don't want to have kids and all that. And I don't want to be tied down like that. I don't want to be tied down to this and tied down to that or what have you. And so I let him break it off with me. I left that house laughing. I got in my car and laughed or what have you. But I made him feel like he was breaking it off with me because I knew that he was going to leave me alone if I broke it off with him. I knew he wasn't going to leave me alone if I broke it off with him. And that's kind of worldly knowledge, but I would say this. The best thing, so I would say probably try not to play any mind games. The best thing to do is to just end it. It's to talk to him and say, hey, listen, I think you're an amazing person. And when you end a relationship with somebody, y'all got to hear this. You got to change your phone number. You cannot sit up on the phone and try to explain why you broke it off with them. Because when women do that, they ain't broken up. They just having an argument. You cannot sit up on the phone and say, well, no, you got to hear me. But you don't understand. If I ended things with a person, that's it. That's it. No closure, no nothing. Go on. You better get me right while we talking right then and there. If I made that decision because I understood that any conversation beyond that was going to be manipulation and trying to bring me back in, or trying to tear me down or something like that. So end it. That's the short answer. I love God and I want to do his will, but I deeply desire marriage and children. God told me today to totally surrender my will to him concerning this. The thought of it makes me cry and sad. I want to surrender, but I don't know how. Surrendering is scary. Okay, so when I surrendered, I just said to him, I said, you know what? I'll do your will. Have your way. Lord, I don't know what you want, but I say I'm your vessel. Have your way. I desire a husband. I desire children. But your will be done in my life. That was surrendering. And it was scary because the enemy, in the midst of a surrender, will lie to you and say, by surrendering, you're essentially saying to God that you have your way, and his way is going to be for you never to get married. And God said it's not good for man to be alone. He will give us the desires of our hearts and all that. God knows the desire of your heart. So God knows that he will arrange for you to get married. Or not, I won't say arrange, but he will allow you to get married at some point. But when he says surrender, he's just basically saying, let me do what I want to do in you right now. It's my time. It's not a time for a man. It's not a time for a relationship. Let me do what I want to do with you based on where I'm trying to take you so that you can qualify for the man that I have for you. So you can qualify to have a man on that, in that scope of where I'm calling you to. That's where I'm trying to get you to a certain mindset. I'm trying to get you to a certain region of thought. And again, when we hear God start talking like that, it can be scary because the enemy, when you say you cried, it's because the enemy came and the enemy's like, hey, you do that. You do know you ain't gonna have no husband and kids, right? You know, the enemy will try to lie to me still to this day and say, you're doing too much. You know, you done wrote all these books and you cast out demons. Go, what man want a woman like that? You doing all of this stuff, and it's like, Satan, you're a liar. You know, most men want a woman that's soft and that depend on them, and it's a lie from the pit of hell because there are men out there who like women like me. But if you listen to that voice, the enemy will always get you to change what you are to become what you think a man wants, and so you will become a counterfeit of yourself, a counterfeit version of yourself. So, for example, I think a perfect example for me was when I was married the first time. I was a counterfeit version of myself. I didn't even manifest like the fullness of my potential. Now one, I didn't know my full potential, but two was because he did like the kind of bimbo-ish and all that. And I do have a bimbo-ish side. You know, I can be naive and it's not intentional. I inherited it. You know, I can have that side where I do something dumb and stuff like that, or I may not catch on to something for a minute and then it dawns on me. Like I said, something dawned on me yesterday from 20 years ago. I'm like, oh, what have you? So what I did was I just became more bimbo-ish. But I was intelligent, but I wouldn't show it to him. I hid that from him. So I would just be everything, and a lot of men don't know women can do that. I would be everything he wanted, but none of who I really was. And it wasn't until me and him broke up that he found out that I had a brain. I mean, he knew I had some measure of intelligence, but it wasn't until we broke up that he found out I had a brain, because that's when he started doing things. You know, he was, turning off the breaker, and I'm like, who do you think you're dealing with? Oh, what have you? So then he found out that, hey, she actually can live on her own, because he was thinking I was the type of woman that was going to just need him. And he found out, no, I can, most of what you can do, I can do. I can't fix a car, but I can get a mechanic. Whatever I can do, I can get somebody else to do, but I'm not helpless at all. So yeah, I'll say that when it comes to that, don't think that God is telling you that He's taking away that He's telling you to give it up, give it all up, give up the desire, give it all up. And when I say give the desire, it doesn't mean that the desire won't still be there. It means one of the things I said to God: if you never gave me the husband, if you never gave me the kids, I'll still serve you. I will still serve you. I will still do your will. I will still serve you. I love you and I honor you. You're my everything. So I am your vessel. Have your way. And when I said that, I mean that with my heart. But it doesn't mean I don't want to have a husband and kids. And I'm just like everybody else. I'm like, but God, that don't mean I don't want no husband and kids, because I do want to have, at least a child or what have you. I do want to have my husband. But what I'm saying to him, and what I meant, the understanding that came in my heart is, I'm an eternal creature. I'm a spirit living inside of a body. I don't want to disrespect my forever focused on my existence here. So whatever the will of God is for me, I'll do his will, because while it may be a sacrifice here, when I'm in my forever, I get to walk into my mansion. I get to have everything I wanted, except a husband, because Jesus said we're neither married nor given in marriage in heaven. But I'm not gonna want a husband in heaven. Chances are none of us. We think, when we hear that, we think we're gonna want a husband in heaven. You're gonna be content in heaven. In heaven, you just good. What I need a husband for? In heaven, my God is supplying all of my needs. I'm protected forever. I'm not crying about anything. I don't feel alone. I'm out worshiping God. I don't need a guy in heaven. And so most of the time on earth, it's all about the voids or what have you. So I just say, hey God, I give it up. Your way, your way. When you give something to God, he gives it back even better. Because what you desire for yourself is only a snippet of what he wants for you. It's not even a tenth of what he wants for you. Like what he started teaching me about, like the fantasies and stuff I have for myself, they don't match what he has for me. He has some great things in store for me. Some great things. Do God call some woman and men to remain single in his lifetime? Yes. But the ones who are called to singleness usually know it, because they have no desire for a relationship. Zero. And it's not because some people say they don't have a desire, but they do. They just saying it because they hurt and they mad. They mad because things didn't go out right in some relationships. So a lot of times people will say that in an attempt to provoke God and to let God know that they're hurting. Or they'll say that because they are hurting. But if God decides that he wants, if God knows that, it's just a hurt thing, he'll allow you to heal. But yeah, if you are called to singleness, or if a man or a woman is called to singleness, they typically don't have any desire for marriage at all. They're not interested in it. They are good. They're good. So they have no desire for marriage. They just want to serve God. All right, let's go scrolling down. I did change my number, but he knows my social media and where I live. He's trying to use me not giving him my new number as an excuse to not contact me or pay his child support and reach out to his child. Yeah, and that's fine. Let him be. Let him be. If he doesn't desire to be a part of his child's life, let him be. I say this to women all the time. It's not a popular thing that I say, but I tell women this all the time. Go out and excel in life. Give your child the lifestyle that they desire, that you want to give them. Go to college and beat all those generational curses. Do all of that great stuff. Become, where you can provide for your child and you're not at a loss for anything. Don't argue with this guy. Don't fight with him. Don't be mad at him. Understand that he's broken. He's probably perpetuating a generational curse that he's a part of. And so let him be. Understand he's broken. Just love on your child and raise your child. Give your child the best life. Eventually, what ends up happening is, because you're focusing ahead and not behind, you'll come across somebody who's going to focus on you. Somebody else who's also focusing ahead and not behind. And so, yeah, I wouldn't ask him, why haven't you been calling your child? Why you don't never come see your child? I wouldn't say a word. If I saw him, it'd be like, hey, how you doing? That's it. That's it. That's all. If he says, how's my daughter? Or how's my son? She good? Or he good? Oh. And that's it. You don't get a blank stare out of me. Oh, okay, well, tell him I said, hey, I'm going to try to come pick him up this weekend. All right, well, just let me know. Keep me posted. That's it. That's it. You know how you confuse the enemy when you're not sitting there acting silly with him? The enemy wants you mad. The enemy wants you disappointed. The enemy wants you mad on behalf of your kids. No. I just look like, okay. That's it. I ain't going to argue. That right then and there, I'm telling him that while I don't agree with what you're doing and I hate it, because I had better in store, plans for my child. I'm going to release you and let you stay there because I know God has something better in store for me and my children. And I don't want my child to be sitting up here. I don't want to tarry in that or what have you. So, no, I promise I'm okay. But I had a dream of a serpent chasing me from room to room. When I would axe it in half, it would keep going like a lizard and no tail. And it was fast. I tried throwing raw meat at it. All right. So that dream, it is dealing with a spirit. 9 times out of 10, you're probably in need of deliverance. The rooms are the parts of the soul, the different parts of your soul, and so these are the rooms that it has access to. When you axe it in half, that doesn't kill a snake. So you're trying to kill it, but you have to cut off its head. That means it's authority, and you would throw raw meat at it. You're throwing your flesh at it. I mean, you're trying to come at it in the flesh when God wants you to go at it in the spirit. But it wasn't satisfied. Yeah, you're throwing flesh at it. You can't satisfy a demon. There's no way. Demons have the appetite of hell. They can't be satisfied. I have a church friend who is pregnant out of wedlock. I'm not jealous, but I'm concerned about the repercussions she will face for her adultery. Should I talk to her about it or should I just pray? Just pray. The only time I have a conversation with somebody about something like that is if they initiate the conversation. But no, just pray for her. And if y'all ever have the conversation, I wouldn't force my beliefs upon a person. I won't be like, you're going to pay for that. You already know you're going to hurt, because chances are she's already dealing with guilt, shame, all that. Pray and just be supportive of her. And when I say supportive, I'm not saying support what she did, but support her. And then allow her to, she has to grow. She has to grow. She has to grow. Now, I would only talk to her about it if she brought the conversation up. If she brought it up. And then also it depends on how close we are. But I have a close friend, and my close friend goes and starts doing some dumb stuff. We having a conversation. Especially like you said, adultery. I'd be like, what the heck do you think you're doing? If it's a close friend, but that's usually going to be before the pregnancy. That's going to usually be before the pregnancy. I'm like, what the heck do you think you're doing? That's going to come back and bite you in the tail. I hope you don't think that's going to come, and I'll bust in. But once the deed is done and they done it, ain't no sense in me beating a dead horse. There's no sense in me, coming at her. Now she comes and she says, girl, he talking about leaving his wife. I said, girl, that man, I'll get her. That man ain't no boy gonna leave his wife for you. You been ran up here and got yourself pregnant, and that's your business. I hate that you're doing this to yourself, but he ain't leaving his wife, and you shouldn't even want him to leave his wife. We'll have a conversation then, but other than that, nah, I'm not gonna volunteer. I'm not gonna just jump in. I cast Satan out of a lesbian in a school dorm, but only did it by getting the female students to worship and shout Jesus' name. It's just a deliverance dream. So it can mean that you're called to sexual immorality. It can mean that you're called to sexual immorality. My sisters are jealous of me. My narc husband insists on having a better relationship with our grown kids than me. I seriously have high level marks in my life completely surrounding me. It's a Jezebel spirit. It's more than likely generational. So get as many books as you can on the Jezebel spirit. Study all you can. The Bible says study and show yourself approved. A lot of times people deal with these type of issues, but they don't study. So I got books, Jezebelian 1 and 2. You can get them on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles or Books A Million. But study as much as you can about that spirit, and you get your freedom. You walk in the power of God, and that's how you start causing the other people around you. They're going to manifest first. They're going to act crazy. But as far as like a jealous sister, I will love her from a distance. But my narc husband insists on having a better relationship with our grown kids than me, and I don't know the details of that, so I couldn't minister to that. I seriously have high level narcs in my life completely surrounding me. Yeah. I would tell you to set up a counseling session with me or someone, and I could, I would want to hear the details, the honest details. My mom and sister are jealous of me and mistreat me because I'm chosen. It's hard to be respectful when my mom acts childish. I find myself not talking to her respectfully. I don't like it. Okay, I don't know if you want to hear this, but what I get from this when you said because I'm chosen, that's a level of pride that I hear coming out of your post. You said they're jealous of me because I'm chosen. Um, it may be a lot of times what people mistake as jealousy is just people responding to the pride that's in them. I'll give you an example. I often talk about a woman can walk into a room and she can walk into a room full of women and she does this. And I've seen women do this. We've all seen women do this. Walk into a room and she doesn't greet anybody. So she comes into the room and let's just say it's a waiting room or just some type of room. She just comes in and she's like, and the women are there, they're talking to everybody, cool. And some people even say hey to her and she just like, that's narcissism on her part. What ends up happening is they call her or what have you. And so the women end up not liking her. Let's just say they work together, what have you. They don't like her because of the way she acted. For her, in 100% of the cases, she will tell people they're jealous of her. 100% of the cases, she will present. I've had friends like that, and when I didn't know any better, they got me with that. They would make you think somebody's jealous of them. They come to me and they like, when I was in my 20s, I fell for that a couple of times. It's like, I'm so tired of people. I'm like, what's going on? It's like, I can't even be in a room where like women don't even like me and I don't even understand what I did. I don't even know what I did. And I'm sitting there and I bit that a couple of times until I came to understand. When I started paying attention, my eyes started opening that they were not the victims. They were mishandling people, and then they would turn it around and they saw themselves as a victim because the people didn't respond the way they thought they should respond. And so I say all that to say, humble yourself. Humble yourself. As you said, they're jealous. Yeah, they mistreat you because you're chosen. Yeah, make sure you're not walking in any pride. But I would just treat them, nice or what have you. And if they're acting childish, I just know when to separate myself. Like, I'm not going to deal with a parent that's acting childish. I'll deal with them, but whenever they start acting childish, I'm going home or I'm getting off the phone. I was quick, like with my mom. My mom, she caught on after a while, but I would tell her, I got to go. I'm like, all right, Mom, I'll talk to you later. I'm like, Mom, I'll talk to you later. And she's like, well, I'll talk to you later. And so I would get myself up out of that situation. But what I would say for you is have somebody else to look at it, because it's probably not jealousy. It could be the way that you could be putting out a vibe. Whenever you come around them, you could be acting a certain way. Like, you coming around and you may be acting prideful and you don't know it. And you may interpret their behavior as jealousy. And people typically do that when they don't have the right labels to put on, or they don't know how to say, okay, well, this is what's wrong, or that's why you're doing what you're doing. So I would say have somebody else to look at that situation, maybe your pastor or what have you, so they can see it for what it really is. Because a lot of times when I'm counseling people, it's not what they thought it was. When I'm counseling people, because I had so many spirits at one point, I'm looking at them like, sis, no, that's Leviathan in you. And that's an issue in you. And yeah, they got their issues too, but that's your issue manifesting. Yeah, your demon don't play well with theirs. A lot of times that's the case. And you have to be honest with people and tell them, say, no, I get what you're saying. Okay, yeah, they do have this. They got a Jezebel. They got this, and they got this, but this is what you have right over here. And so this is the reason why all of y'all are over there manifesting. Is almost like Satan playing with toys, like making y'all fight. So what I would do is just make sure that I'm treating them with kindness. And I would make sure I have my own house, of course, but I wouldn't bite too much into it. My freaking 90-year-old mom is jealous of me too. It makes me want to know I'm out. Okay. I want to challenge you guys, for those of you who say, hey, these people are jealous of me in my family. I want you to give me a definition of what you say is jealousy. Because it could be. Now, I'm not saying that it's not. But I am saying that in some cases it probably isn't. Sometimes what we interpret as jealousy is the person's response to us. So when I was in the world, a lot of times I thought things were jealousy because I would come around women and they'll act a certain way and I thought it was jealousy, but it wasn't. It was, something else. But there are cases where there is jealousy. Um, and you can typically tell jealousy because they're always trying to take what you have. They're always trying to sabotage what you have. They're always talking about what you have. Jealousy. Oh, you think you're better than us. The language of jealousy is you think you're better than me. Somebody needs to knock you off of your high horse. What goes up must come down. Um, you, 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 your crap stinks just like ours. You put your leg. Though that's the language of jealousy. But somebody mishandling you is not always jealousy. Sometimes people mishandle you because they're broken and they don't necessarily know how to deal with you. And for us, a lot of times we don't know the right label to put on it, so we automatically say, "Oh, it's jealousy." But if there's competition, comparison, and stuff like that, then you may be dealing with jealousy, and in that case, you have to put some distance or what have you. I mean, and like I said, it's not. I'm not going to say that it's not because I don't know. How do you feel about the people that are crazy about a woman wearing makeup heels saying that you would go to hell? I don't care. I, they're religious, and you have to let people deal with their own religious beliefs and their own religious demons or what have you. Where was I at? Oh, okay. You have to let them deal with their own stuff. So I don't argue with people like that. I don't throw my pearls to swine. I just let them be. So as far as that goes, I know that they're reading the Bible out of context. I know that they are reading the Bible from a place of fear, lack of knowledge, and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna educate a person who has already made up their mind to actually take a stance and begin to teach rather than to learn. So yeah, I don't put any emphasis or thoughts into that. My nieces and nephews struggle with not having a father in their lives. I'm their aunt. They're young. I'm their aunt. They're young children. How do I help them? They have a lot of aggression and not well behaved discipline. Sometimes with children, they deal with rejection. Make sure you're taking them to church, have them serving at church. Make sure the mother is raising them up and she's not talking negative about their father to them because that can bring a lot of behavior issues. But um, discipline, because children, foolishness is in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it far from them. A lot of times with children, and I hate to say this because I know some people are going, but children are naturally narcissistic. That's because they are too young to understand love, and that it doesn't mean they have Jezebels. It just means that they have the characteristics. They are naturally narcissistic. They can be manipulative. So a lot of times, if you think that it's because my daddy's not around that I'm acting up, I will use that as leverage because now you don't want to discipline because you feel sorry for me. I would use that as leverage. So whenever you're sitting there and I'm not getting what I told you I wanted ice cream and McDonald's and you didn't take me to get ice cream or McDonald's. I'm not getting what I want. And I start acting up and you say, her dad's not around. F my daddy. I can use all that. I can use all that. But with children, you educate. You sit them down. You make sure nobody's talking negative about the father because that brings behavioral issues because you're tearing down a piece of them. You talk to them in love. You tell them, hey, God's going to send you a new daddy. You're gonna have somebody come in your life. And God said, whenever father and mother forsake you, He will take you up. You educate them, but then you also draw lines and boundaries. You don't do this. You don't do that. You don't do this. Now, lines and boundaries always have to have penalties behind them. Meaning, once they cross that line, I can't allow the fact that they don't have a father in their life to make me feel guilty about not punishing them. No, go up in there. There are some amazing children who came out of one parent household because the parent drew boundaries around and said, no, you're not going to use the fact that your daddy not here to get what you want. because children naturally are narcissistic. They want, when I was a child, I remember being, how old was I? About 15 or 16. And I remember being really upset because not only did I want to have a boyfriend, but I wanted the right to spend the night with my boyfriend. And I knew I wasn't going to get it, but I remember being upset. And I remember having a friend that had, privileges that I felt like I should have. And so one of the things I did was I tried to find a way to get what I want. I remember being 16 years old and, I would just go over to a friend of mine's house so I could see my boyfriend, so he can come hang out over there. Children will do stuff like that. Now, had you came to me and said, oh, it's because, her mom and dad are going through a divorce, I would have been just like, it hurts. It really does. I would have played you. And children do that, even 3-year-old children. They will play you. If that's what you think, they will hinge on to it. A lot of times we don't give kids credit. We don't know how intelligent they are. But children are very, very smart. So you give them information. You give them information. You give them books. You give them attention. You give them love. You also give them penalties. You give them boundaries. You give them penalties for crossing those boundaries. And lastly, and I always tell people this, we live in a very divided nation about how to train up a child. But I always tell people this: you got to be crazier than your children. If you crazy, I got to be 3 shades of crazy. Because a child will test you. They will push you to the edge. I'm gonna call CPS. Call them. But by the time they get here, I'm gonna be knocked you clean the heck out, and they're gonna have to take you. You go pack your clothes, and child, you can go and get ready to go with them. Because at the end of the day, you are not gonna control me using no CPS or no threats. They're gonna take you with them, and you're gonna live in a foster home. So call CPS. As a matter of fact, I will call them for you. No, it's either that I'm calling CPS or I'm gonna beat you down. Now that's just me. I'm about to get you. You're not gonna play games like that with me in this house. I'm not raising you like that, but I'm also giving the child information, so my child knows better. It's not that this is a child that just doesn't know better. No, this is a child that knows better, but they're trying on all these different wiles of the flesh, and I have to correct that wow. I have to make it where you're gonna have to choose between being manipulative and getting a beat down and not getting what you want, or just accepting the fact that you're not going to get what you want, because that's life. You're not going to always get what you want. So I would draw boundaries, and I would make sure I give them information. I would make sure, if they need counseling, get them counseling. But I also I will also enforce those boundaries, and I won't, like, if I discipline a child, I'm not going to feel guilty. I'm not going to come in there with a teddy bear. Are you asleep? Cut that light off. It's love. And a lot of times we look at it like it's not love because, the world has showed us a different model of parents that it says, for your child, like I see these TikTok videos that kids are doing with the stuff that they're doing to their parents. I'm like, I don't know if I should say this. Like, I would knock that child clean out. You coming over there squirting water in my face like you lost your mind. No, we can play, we can be, we can be cool and all that. That's what we'll be cool. But at the same time, you're not going to disrespect me for a TikTok video. You're not going to disrespect. I saw a TikTok video yesterday where a guy went up and started yelling at his mother. Just started screaming up, straight up screaming at her. And it's all for a TikTok video because he wanted to provoke his mother to anger. No. No, you try that stuff with me, it'll be on and popping up in that house. So let's see. You still have to be careful with these churches, though. You need discernment. The Lord talks about what will happen to the false church in Revelation. Don't know what you mean, what you're talking about, but as far as churches, you just got to be prayerful. You study your word, and you'll know a false church from a real one. People who fall into false churches typically don't study. Although I think in terms of examples, we should consider the New Testament. We have the Holy Spirit in us, and the people of the Old Testament didn't. That's why apostles type of behave different. So I think pastors, apostles should be held to standards of Paul, Peter, and others. Um, they got to be held to the standard that God sets for each individual, not necessarily the standard that Paul and Peter said. My church is masculine driven, and every time they talk about women, it's negative. Like we are the too emotional, and we basically just need to stay home with children. They don't have anything for women, only men. Then my question would be, why are you there? Why are you there? I mean, it could be a good thing, but I would address it. I wouldn't just sit up there and get offended. And it could be a joke. It could be that they're being silly or something like that. But then again, if they're not being silly, if they're very negative toward women, I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be there. Or I would talk to them and say, hey, what's this, negative chauvinistic attitude towards women? And I would tell them that how it makes me. I'd be like, it makes me really uncomfortable because I'm a woman. I don't feel like having my self-esteem lowered in church. I'm just not into it. Stop getting mad. Show him love. It worked for me. He hated it and no longer wanted me. Yeah, I guess you're talking to speaking to somebody. All right, come on down. How about if you're married to a narc for 33 years and three children later? Oh, you survived the worst of it. So just thank God. I would say, while it's a nightmare, you know, you survived the brunt of it. Just pray. And I would tell you to get healing and deliverance and get as much information as you can so that you can grow. Um, and then let God deal with the rest. God always has us to deal with our individual selves. A lot of times we be so focused on everybody else that we don't know we need fixing. So it's always better for us to focus on our individual selves. So I would buy books, and I had this down showing it to a lady. You know, John Eckhart, the Deliverance Warfare Manual. I'd get books and educate myself about what I'm dealing with. I'll get books about the Jezebel spirit. I will make sure I go get deliverance. I will make sure that I'm not arguing with the people. I'm just growing, and yeah, I would make sure I'm doing all of that. Excuse me. Let's see. When is your next deliverance call? Are you doing? I don't know. I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted. But God showed me that I needed to forgive my ex for his infidelity, but it was not my responsibility to forgive him for my son. My son needs to forgive his father. Yeah, but you have to forgive him for walking out of your son's life, for disappointing. You have to lead the charge, show him what forgiveness looks like. So a lot of times, and I've seen one of the tricks of the enemy. I saw this with a sister in Christ of mine, where the father, her child, kept disappointing her. And I realized what the enemy was doing, and I brought it to her attention. I said, you notice that what the enemy does is, as soon as you get to a certain spot with him, the enemy rips that scab off. And I told her to take expectation out of that. I said, that's the best thing to do. Anytime expectation is in any equation, it opens you up for disappointment. And so I said, don't expect him to be a part of his children's life. Don't expect him to honor his word. Don't expect it. When he does it, it's like, hey, great, he did it. I said, but don't expect that, because what it was doing was it kept leading her to disappointment, and then that will lead her right back into unforgiveness, and then they end up having fights, and then a couple of months in, they're not talk. I mean, they go a couple of months where they're not talking or what have you, and then he comes back around, and she just is kind of mellowed out for a minute, and it was a whole system or what have you. And so I told her, I said, you got to stop dealing with the disappointment. Just go ahead and set it in your mind that he's not going to be the father that you want him to be for your children, because you're fighting to make him into that. And so you're mad, you're disappointed, you're angry because you're pushing him. You're trying to get him. It's like you're trying to push his head. You're like, come on, you ain't got to be with me, but you got to be this for your child. And sometimes you just have to accept that the child is not going to have that in him. And if you accept it, you don't try to control his will, that you're not going to have that in him, or the children are not going to have that in him. God can send somebody that they can have that in that particular guy. And so they won't want for need for anything. Let me see. All right, let me get back. I had to set up a counseling appointment. How can you set up a counseling appointment? Go to tiffanybuckner.com and then go under coaching and life coaching. Wow, this was so helpful. I had some people mishandling me, and I never realized it was because of the way I came across to them. They even pointed out that I never greet them when I walk into a room. Yeah, and some people do it naturally. Like I said, I've had all types of friends, and I remember having a friend, very beautiful woman, beautiful soul, beautiful. But when I first met her, I didn't like her, and my friends, my clique. I had a clique of friends. We were working in, we were working in the same place, and they didn't like her, and it was because when she was just really she went into a stereotype. But she had a stereotype attached to her, and she followed through with it. But I think it was even worse with the fact that she didn't speak. Like sometimes she'd just be walking, she'd just be in another world. And she did that to me a couple of times. She'd walk and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she kept, and I'm just like, "Who the heck she thinks she is?" But then I ended up becoming friends with her, and I found out she was a really beautiful person, very beautiful person inside. But whenever she's distracted, her mind is just. And when I learned that about her, I was like, yeah. And I was able to help her to understand because she was like, "I don't know why people don't like me," and I'm like, it's because sometimes you do come across as acting a certain type of way, and people are used to seeing, and and so sometimes it could be how we present ourselves to people. And in her case, it was a lot of times she thought it was people jealous of her, and there was a little bit of it, but a lot of it wasn't that. A lot of it was because when she did walk into a room, um, she didn't always acknowledge the women. She had, and some people are naturally drawn to guys, and she was like that. She would naturally kind of gravitate toward the guys or what have you, and women would be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And they got to the point where they just didn't speak to her. So when she walked into a room, the women were like, and I was one of those women looking like, "Who does she think she is?" But when I got to know her, I found out she was a really beautiful person inside and out. Um, and she didn't necessarily. And so when I was her friend, I helped her to understand. I was like, "You walking, you don't be speaking. You don't be speaking." I thank God for my whoopings. I do too. I got some whoopings, beat downs. I still got scars from some of them whoopings. So I used to lie in the middle of the street trying to get my mom to change her mind. Oh yeah. And we have to have parents that don't give in to that. I've seen parents. I was working in Walmart when I was younger, and I was in culture shock when I saw kids acting up, like lay on the ground over a pack of M&Ms, and the mother's like, "Get up from there! You get up from there! You get up!" I was looking like, "Oh man, that could have been my mama." I would be beat down right right there in the middle of the store. They would have taken me out of there on a um one of those little hospital beds. They would have with a stretcher. I would have got pulled out on a stretcher. I mentioned police one time to my mama. I never did it again. I told my mama it was child abuse what she was doing, and I tried to call child abuse hotline. She gave me the phone, told me to dial, and she had already taught me, "Hey, you call them, you going into foster care." And I was trying to scare her into not whooping me no more. And I was probably 12 years old, 11 or 12 years old. And I tried that, and I hung up the phone, and she whooped the mess. She said, "You better, they gonna have to come get you. I'm gonna beat you." Which one? I took the beat down. I tried running away after a whooping. It came right back after I bit. My little sister used to tickle me when she got whooping. Me, I would go ahead and get it over with. I would be scared, but I get it over with. My little sister used to climb out. My sister used to be real dramatic with her whoopings. Maybe because she didn't get so many of them, but one of the time I remember my mama was chasing her, and it was the funniest thing. My mom was chasing her, and she was probably 6 or 7. But my mom was trying to whoop her. My sister ran down the hallway. We had this long hallway. My sister ran down the hallway, ran into my room and closed the door right in the nick of time, right into my mom's face. So my mom was on one side of the door holding the door. My sister was on the other side. No, holding the door closed. And of course, my mom was stronger. So my mom was pushing, and I guess my window must have been up, or I don't know how she got my window up so fast. When my mom got that door open, all she could see is my window coming up, and my sister jumped straight out the window. She was so determined. That girl was dramatic. Let's see. I've served so much, hardly worth leaving now. But you can still grow. You can still grow. That doesn't mean you have to leave. You don't have to resolve yourself to die in misery. Get books. Go to, if you're not in a church, go into a church home. Educate yourself about this spirit. Educate yourself. They won't change. You never know. You never know. God specializes in the impossible. Thank you. I got to get off here 6 hours. Yeah, I usually don't speak when I enter a place because I be in la la land. I had so many people want to fight me because they thought I was stuck up. It was funny. I used to secretly want to be those ladies. And yeah, and you secretly wanting to be those was the reason you were doing it 9 times out of 10. It was the reason that I'll post my email address here. But it was the reason you were doing that because you had seen somebody else do it. So you probably go off into la la land, but you didn't necessarily. And so, like I said, I've had friends from all types, from every world, every world of thinking, every world of thought. And it was funny whenever I did have friends like that. They would be off, or sometimes they'd be off in la la land. But the ones who used to be in la la land, I hate to say this, that were in la la land a lot. They were kind of aloof. They were the type of people they would. Do you like this? Make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all like it. This is the last question, and I'm gonna get. I just posted the email address, Cincinnati, but they were the type of people that they were just kind of. I hate to say this, but they were always big eyes, and this is what I've seen. This is the friends I've had, people I've had around me. They were big eyes, and they would be off in another world. They were just kind of like aloof, very aloof. I mean, it was smart, but they were off in another world. They would just be like, and they'd be like, and they'd be doing silly stuff. And you like, let's just make up a name. Mandy. Why'd you just put aluminum foil in the refrigerator? Oh, I did? He's like, yeah. But the crazy part is they're not dumb. They're just very aloof. And I hate to say this, but my mom was aloof. My mom could be, and I could be aloof sometimes. So I'm not too, I would say probably just a teeny bit, not too much. But I can be aloof sometimes, and I'll rebuke it. But my mom used to be aloof. My mom used to sit up there, and she'd be sitting at a red light, and it turned green. And we just be sitting in the car. Me and my sister, we used to have a field day cracking on my mom. She'd just be sitting there. Like, Mom. Yeah. The light's green. Oh. And she'd drive off. And we would crack up like, what the heck? What goes on up here? Like, what's happening? But when I come across people who are kind of aloof, I imagine this wall that's there. It's just like something's mesmerizing them. So they come into a room and they're kind of mesmerized by a thought. And they just walk in and it's just like, and they're doing something. And the next thing you know, people are mad at them or what have you. And it's like, you have to explain to people like, nah, she in a whole other world. She be in a whole other world. And these are the people, they be darn near about to kill you. Aloof people are very dangerous. Like, they could be sitting up there. You don't want to get around them when they're doing yard work. I'm loving y'all right now, but I'm just being funny. But you don't want to get around them when they're doing yard work, because they'll be sitting up there. I always get you. I'm sorry. It's okay. You picking up your braids. I almost lost my life with this person several times. So aloof people can be very interesting. They can be very interesting. They do things and they'll go and they'll be off in another world. Trust me, my mom was aloof. But they'll be off in another world. They'll go into the kitchen and be cooking, and they'll put something in the microwave and you like, did you just put a skillet in the microwave? No, you just put a skillet in the microwave. No. Or they'll put a teddy bear in the microwave, be like, And you be like, what? Okay, stop for a minute. Where are you? Where the heck are you? You give me back. I'm sorry, Gavin. Where are you? Where do you be? Because they be often enough, they be present in body. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. I guess they be in the spirit somewhere. Because they be sure absent from the body. I believe they be in the spirit. Yeah, I have a resting mean mugging face. I think they be in the spirit somewhere. They just be walking around. I done darn near been killed by them women like that. They done darn near killed me on a couple of occasions. They be about to hit you with the car. They just be off in another world. You don't know where they at. They just be there, and it's just like they be in deep thought while they walking. And when you say something to them, they don't turn their head like this. They have to turn like this. Their whole body. Now I gotta get over here because I'm gonna get in some trouble. Y'all gonna get me in trouble. But yeah, they be in another world. They just be, they can't even turn like you like. I'm trying to think of a name that nobody has. Tasha. They gotta turn their whole body because they're in such another world. And sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I've asked God, what type of demon is that? Like, what is that? Because I can see, I'm like, where the heck is she? She's there, but she's not there. She's smart, but she's not there. But I think we all have that. We struggle with that. Some people a little bit more than others. But sometimes I can be sitting there looking at people and I be like, where the heck is she? She gone. I don't know where she at. I see her body. She moving, but she gone. She up there with a remote control trying to control the microwave. Ma'am. Huh? What are you doing? Oh, girl. And you just sit there like, sis, where are you? Where are you? You loose her now in the name of Jesus. All right, I'm just messing with y'all now. But yeah, a lot of times people go into spaces and stuff like that, and they don't necessarily know why people are upset. And for me, I've had friends from all different walks of life, and I've had friends from all different walks of life, and I've helped them to understand, like, yes, sis, you kind of walk into a room and act this way, or you kind of do that. And I think that's why I thank God for my personality, is that I can fit in with different people from different walks of life or what have you. And if I'm with the ghetto person, I can be ghetto. If I'm with the person who's cool, I can be cool. If I'm with the girl who's classy, I can be classy. I'm multi-dimensional. But yeah, they turn their whole body. I'm sorry, I didn't do y'all justice because I had my leg up in the chair. But you say, you said Tasha. Tasha. They don't never be like, yeah. Cause they gone. I don't know where they at. They be like, I don't know where they at. I've seen women, and I just be trying to figure out, like, Lord, where they at? Cause I know to be absent from the body is to be present with you, but God, I see them. I see them. They right here. They're animated. They're talking, but they're not here. They're not here. And so you can kind of walk up to them and have a whole conversation, and it's like having a conversation with a brick wall. And they could be you can be talking to them, and you find out, I don't know, you find out that they're not listening to you. I'm gonna get in trouble. And if I get in trouble, I'm coming for y'all. You find out that they're not listening to you when they're talking to you, because they usually have an eye that travels just a little bit. So while they're talking to you, their eye starts moving. I don't know if I can get it. The eye's over here somewhere. And that's how you know they're not focused on you. They're off in a daydream somewhere. Your face is just a focal point, and they don't want to be rude. So they're just like, this eye over here, it kind of traveled over there. And they just say, and then when you say something, you like, Tasha, oh, girl, oh, sis, where you at? Sis, where you at? Where you at? And like I said, we used to clown my mother, because my mom, she could be aloof like that. And a lot of times we used to joke with her. We used to joke about her. Me and my sister, I ain't gonna lie to you, we used to have some perverted jokes, that we would say around my mom, and she didn't even catch it. She was just really aloof. She just did not catch it. And, we would sit up there like, my little sister, and I'm closing behind this because I'm in the flesh. I'm sleepy. I'm in the flesh, so I got to get off of here. But my little sister one time, no, I ain't gonna say that. My little sister clowned my mother one time. I'll just say that. She clowned my mother. I'm trying to see if I should say that. She walked up to my mom, and by this time I was probably like 21 or what have you. And my sister, she be asking my mom sexual questions, and my mom didn't catch the lingo. And she'd be like, And my sister, I'm getting in trouble for y'all. My sister walked up to my mom. She was just like, Mom, is it ever difficult for you to swallow? And my mom was like, huh? Oh, yeah, sometimes I have a sore throat. And we would fall to the floor laughing. We would be laid on the floor laughing because I know what she's saying. But my mom was so innocent and aloof that she didn't catch it. It just went right. And what's so funny? And we just be on the floor laughing like, and my sister was the worst part. For me, I would just sit there and laugh, but my sister was the worst. She would just really ask my mom all types of crazy questions and stuff. And then she'd be like, Mom, what happened to you? And my mom was like, what are you talking about? Then my sister was like, you got dropped. Something. What have you? So anyhow, I'm in the flesh now, so I got to get off of here. Let me see here. What I meant is not to take Paul and Peter, etc., as examples. Christ always is. But if we're going to compare, let's use them instead of David, because they had spiritual limitations without the Holy Spirit. Right. Spirit of fluoride in the water. Let's see. Minister Tiffany cutting up. No, and she caught on after some years. My mom finally got a little bit privy to us and stuff, and she got smarter. She got a little street lingo, and she'd be like, "Oh, I caught that. I know what y'all talking about." So she caught on to it after some years, but at one time my mom was just aloof. We just asked her all types of crazy questions, and she'd just be like, I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm in the flesh. I gotta go. But I'm trying to think of something else my sister done asked. It's usually lingo that, can mean, yeah, it's some stuff. I'm not going in. But anyhow, I'm in the flesh. I gotta go. I love y'all. Hey, make sure if you have not, if you want to get you a copy of this, I'm going to be shooting this out this week. Remember, I think I got 10 people that have ordered so far. So I have about 40 copies of this. This is $30. It's $30 on Amazon plus shipping and handling. But if you get it from me. I will send you a signed copy of this. This is microscribology for those of you who are called to write. Good night, love you. But this is for those of you who are called to write. And this is a very heavy book as far as revelation. It helps you to understand where you are as a writer. Let me see here, vomiting on the pages of her book. So it deals with this is very heavy in revelation. This book here again is $30. I'm supposed to be charging $50. I'm gonna probably raise the price up to $50, but I'm gonna let the first 40. I think I got 40. If I don't have 40, I'll order the rest directly from Amazon. But I will send you a signed copy of the book if you want it signed. Make sure you would have to Cash App me, and then you can email me. Let me make sure I post it up one more time. You can Cash App me 30, and I'm gonna try to send it off on Friday. And you can email me if you want it signed. You have to email me your Cash App to say I Cash App you from this Cash App. Here's my address, and if you want it signed, make sure you tell me you want it signed. If you do not write that you want it signed, I'm not going to know you want it signed, and I'm just going to send it to you. And then if you want it signed, you'll have to send it back, and then you'll have to pay the return postage fee. Yes, your friend will love you for this. I'm telling y'all, this is the heaviest book I've ever written. This, when I say heavy, I'm not talking about just from the sizes. It's over 500 pages. This book is heavy with revelation. It is heavy with revelation. This has some revelation in here, even with deliverance and stuff. It's going to blow your mind. It will absolutely. When I was writing this, it was blowing my mind. God was just sharing. God opened up the vaults of heaven and let me let me pull some revelation out of there. And that's the reason I went through hell when I was writing this book. Man, I went through a lot of hell while writing this book. So I believe that this is going to bless your life. So like I said, I'm going to go send them out. I'll go to the post office on Friday of this week. So it's just the first 40 people that get a copy. Yes, PayPal. You can use PayPal me. Give me a second. Thank you. There you go. To Tiffany, I could have sown even though it's not a system practiced in my church, but I do love your work, so I would love to. But unfortunately, Cash App is not available in my country. Not a problem. Yeah, it's 30. It's 30. It's 30. So I just listed the PayPal here for those of you who want to get a copy of it, or even if you want to sow, you can do so. I love y'all. I look forward to talking to y'all again soon. The next time I come out, God willing, y'all pray for me. I will have published my book, my new book, the Book of Boundaries, and then I think the other one's going to be the Woman's Book of Boundaries. All right, I love y'all, and we'll talk again soon. All right. No, I can ship it overseas, but I would just, just let me know where you are via email, and I will have to charge a shipping cost, obviously, but it would depend on where you are. So you can shoot me an email, and I'll look. All right, love y'all. Talk to you soon.